Hi, hi everyone. Welcome back to Themis and Toph. Grab your coffee, waffle thief. Hey everyone, how are you? How are you? I think that on Friday, well, today's Friday, on Saturday or Sunday, maybe Monday, maybe next week, whenever it is, I'm gonna review Jessie Woo. I was gonna do it now, but I'm just gonna sit back first. And I wanted to come to you all and ask that you understand that like not me. I'm fine. You can say whatever you want in the comments, but content creators are people, and this is so weird because like I disagree with, let me say upright, I disagree with the way that Jessie Woo addresses Shelly and what's his name, girl? Girl, what's this man's name? This is how much like I love me some Olandria, Shelly. What's Shelly's man name? Can someone drop Shelly's man name in the that is Ace. Thank you. The fact I don't be knowing these men's name because I don't care. But Ace, thank you. I'll go. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, the how do I put this in a way? I I don't like the way that Jessie Woo covers. Like I like how she covers reality shows like generally, but for some reason when it comes to Ace, specifically Ace, not even Shelly, define Shelly. I'm down for a defense of Shelly. It's like she's kind of like blinded by her friendship. Like, I don't know that they're friends, so I apologize. But it feels like a person unable to do their. Let me be very clear. I don't plan to be friends with no one online. Because one of the things about me, one thing's for certain, two things for sure. I am not someone. Hopefully I give grace and I'm never attacking a person, but I'm dissecting what it is that they said I did because I think she's still beautiful, amazing, kind, whatever, all that person. But it does feel compromise when you're unable when you are unable to critique your friend. And I don't know that they're friends, but it's giving either they're friends or they run in the same circle. Because the way that Jesse Wu defends Ace makes absolutely no sense. The way even when she critiques Ace, it's always but. There was always a but there, like, oh, the speed interview was bad, but no, 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 no. You can drag Nick separately. You can go drag Nick. I mean, I like Nicolandria aesthetically, but I like Olandria. I get nothing about a Nick. I get nothing about a Nick. I will drag Nick in a minute. Like it's gonna always be a drag for Nick, Ace, all of them mans. Like I don't really care nothing about none of them, right? But it feels so odd. Like she couldn't. It felt like she couldn't sit in the fact that that Ace interview with Speedy was so bad that it does like it brings into question Shirley. Like it just does. Like that's your man talking crap about someone you said was your soul sister. What do you mean? How we gonna review that at some point. The reason I'm not gonna review it now is it is very strange for people who watch content to go in the comment section and just viciously attack and disrespect someone. I find that to be because, like, I know you wouldn't say that in someone's face. So the fact that I went to Jessie Woo's comment, I watched her just now, and I went to her comment, and people were calling her. Let me tell you what one of them people said. One of them people said, "Let me read this comment." And this is not okay. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to probably do this as members only. Because one thing for certain, two things for sure. I'm going to do it. I'm reviewing this content. And ain't nothing but the blood of Jesus going to stop me from reviewing this content. The content going to get reviewed. what is a problem, unfortunately, is the way that people are engaging with her. And I think you can disagree. I think it is okay, and you're fully within your right to disagree with someone without disrespecting them. I think you can. Now, they can say what they want. People can be like, "Oh, but you always disagree with everyone." Yeah, sure do. But I'm not about to just sit up here and disrespect her. And I feel like the way that some people have engaged with her is really disrespectful, and I don't like it. I don't like that. So I'm not gonna make my thing public, but I'm definitely going to review her. Anyway, someone called her bitter. I can't find the comment again, but someone in the thing was calling her bitter and jealous and all of that, and it's never it's never that serious. It's never that serious. It's never that serious. And I also am waiting instead of doing it now because I have a like weirdly visceral reaction. I'm going to watch it again, and then I'm going to review it when I've put my thoughts together. Yeah, like I mean, I don't. I know what to tell you. I know what to tell you. Ace is a problem. Ace has been the problem. And if you don't know that Ace was the problem in the Nicolandria, Shell Ace, Ace Shelley, I don't know. What's their name? Shell Ace? I don't know. If you don't know that he was the problem in their branding, I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, so if y'all didn't know, Shelley came out to announce that her and Ace has parted ways. Good for her. Love that down. Shelley was the most beautiful woman on that entire show. Don't compare women, Shelley, to me. When I saw Shelley, I thought Shelley was the most beautiful woman in the world. Like, I was just like, girl, now where they got this? Now where this girl come from? Because you eating, right? So I was a fan. I think I don't know if I made this public. I think I made this public. Where I was reviewing my initial reaction of Love Island. This is the first time I've ever watched the entire season. And for the first pretty much all of the show until Ace started playing in Shelley's face in my book. Because what do you mean you go run around, kiss everyone, and Ace almost had Shelley got sent home. If it weren't for that skinny white guy who was like a pool boy, Shelley would have left, right? If my memory served me right, Ace picked someone over Shelley, Amaya Papaya or some foolishness, some random girl. Ace picked her, and Shelley was about to be sent home until Pool Boy picked Shelley. And for me, the way that my brain is set up, the way my brain is set up, I would never be able to forgive you. It would never be you and I. You and I would never end up in the end. If you disrespect me like that, you're like, oh, but I didn't know you at that time. I wasn't in love with you yet. Well, don't ever fall in love with me, right? So it was never giving. I don't know, something about me. My mind shifted a little bit when it comes to Shelley and Ace. And by the way, that's when I stopped liking Ace. All the manipulation Ace did in the house, all the controlling the other men's while being the youngest, I was there for it. I was here for all the foolishness until that very moment when Amaya Papaya or some woman, I feel like it was Amaya, was standing up there, and Ace went, took his little self up there and chose another woman while Shelley was sitting up there, just standing up there looking a mess. And Austin had to go pick Shelley for Shelley to stay. And the fact that Shelley ended up with Ace is diabolical to me. If I were Austin, I would be all kind of mad, right? So it is that part of their love story that soured me to them as a brand. I don't care, nothing if the people are like, oh my God, y'all are invested in these relationships and they're not real. I don't care. Who thought they were real? This is all for TV. This is fun and games. And so I've always had that issue with Ace, but I've always loved Shelley. And did not. I was not a fan of Elandria. I liked Elandria, but like she was just very demure and put together and cute and pretty and whatever. But like she was all the way that she was male worshipping with that dreadhead guy. I was just like, girl, absolutely. I can't stand. I'm sorry. I am not about to be a fan of a woman just like giving up all her power, begging for love from like a man who literally can't speak. Like, so Elijah was not it for me. I loved her down, thought the aesthetic was there, thought she was beautiful, thought she was poised, but it was just like, girl, so you really going just like give everything for this man who barely even looked your way. All right, girl, absolutely not. So Alandria was not on the show. Alandria was not she was up there, but like Shelly was that girl on the whole show. After the show, the way Olandria has been maneuvering the media, I was like, oh, this girl got a plan. Not only is she beautiful and poised, absent the blackmail worship. Ignore the blackmail worship for a minute. She has a plan. And it seems like she's trying to navigate the new kind of fame that she has in a way that prolong her fame. And I love that. I was like, you know what, let me click in. I might not like Nick. Nick seems like a child to me, and there's no power on this earth that's going to convince me that Nick is nothing but a child. But I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. Let them have fun. They're young people doing young people things. Okay, cool. I'm seeing it for Nick, and I'm seeing it for Olanchi, and I'm seeing the vision. Ace going to do an interview talking about their love is fake. I am sorry. Even if their love is fake and it was in the house and you didn't mean when you were out it was fake, you're a hater. You're mad because you thought you would be that guy. You were manipulating all the guys. And in fact, you are that guy. You had all them men on lock. You literally control all them men's, right? The problem is people don't invest in the man from Love Island. They invest in the women and the story of the women. That's what tends to happen. So yes, you were that guy at 22, 21, whatever, 20 years old. You were in there having grown men bend to your will, controlling the villa, unlocking key. Girl, you did that. You ate down. The show is still not about you. The show just is still not about you, and that's just that on that. Like it was never gonna give you. And so because your ego could not take you being second place, you went out and throw dirt on Olandria's name when you, Olandria, Nick, and Shelly were supposed to be friends. And you pissed me off because you destroyed one of the best duo that could have taken over the fashion industry. You destroyed Shelly and Olandria, and them as a dynamic duo would have ate down. I even foresaw like a reality show with y'all four when the girls are hitting New York, the girls are hitting Miami, the girls are over there somewhere in Africa. Like I don't know. I just saw it. And you just go mess it up. Have you seen Charlotte's face? Have you seen Olandria's face? The girls were eating. The girls were ready to eat. But because your little ego couldn't take it, you were fake. And so, no, there is no content creator on this planet who can sit up there and pretend like Nick Olandria or Ace and Shelly weren't as a brand stronger as the four of them doing it. And the problem was Ace. Ace ego couldn't do it. So if you're going to sit up there and pretend like, oh, Ace didn't do anything wrong, Ace is a baby, he's just a wee little baby, absolutely not. Oh, no worries. At all. All right. So this is my take. Now, come this weekend at some point, I am going to review Jessie Wu. If you're going to look for Jessie Wu to be dragged, it's never going to happen. I will never drag her. I think she's a beautiful leading voice in the space that she is. And so that's just never going to happen. I disagree with her. Um, on her take, and you cannot pretend, not just Jessie Wu, that Ace is not completely contradictory when he's like, "Oh, I talked the truth," but then said he was manipulated by the producers. Like, there's too much happening with Ace, where on one hand he stand on business, on other hand it's like everyone else's fault why he did what he did when he did what he did. Like, absolutely not. Just no. Ace is the problem, and if he doesn't know he's the problem, now he knows he's the problem when it comes to the four of them being together. Now, whatever happened in their relationship, I don't know. But let me play this video real quick of Shelly explaining what happened with their relationship. Looking good as ever. One thing about Shelly, one thing about Shelly, girl, she gonna eat the girls up. That face guard never declines.
Yeah.
He's doing good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing good.
Oh,
So
and are you guys like? Are the talks of like? Because are we when the moving in together?
not
Oh,
quite.
not quite. Okay,
No,
okay.
We have
not
a ways to
quite.
go.
No,
We have a ways to
yeah,
go.
Yeah.
Okay.
no moving in together. Yeah, there's actually a lot just happening and stuff. So,
Oh, are things okay?
well,
okay?
Are we moving? Okay.
Are we moving on?
So Ace and I actually decided to part ways.
Wait,
Yes.
oh my God, did you
when?
announce that?
These two men are so fake. I'm so sorry. I don't know this as a fact, but it's giving. They knew this was supposed to be a big announcement, and that they were breaking. Because like the way they're pushing right here is such a weird thing. Like, ain't nobody do an interview like this. Go shut up and let her talk. Oh, like just fake. Ugh.
Oh, are things okay?
Well,
okay?
Are we moving? Okay.
Are we moving on?
So Ace and I actually decided to part ways.
Wait,
Yes.
oh my God, did you
when?
announce that?
No.
Oh my God,
Oh,
Shelly, I'm
yeah.
sorry.
No.
Yeah, these men are so like, oh. I should have. I wasn't watching when Jessie Wu was playing it, so I didn't really see that their fake faces. Ugh.
No, don't. It's okay. And
Are you-
please don't.
how,
Like, it's okay.
how are you feeling?
I mean, it really was a tough decision, like
Yeah.
for the both
Yeah.
of us, and like, very hard to decide. But you know, when you love someone, sometimes loving someone means letting go. So I
Yes.
think we just got to that decision.
Okay.
that
Also,
that
getting
was
to a
best.
point where because you both have love for each other, to end it
Exactly.
before that ends. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
it came from like a mutual level of respect.
a mutual level of respect and understanding that we wanted this to work, but sometimes things don't work. Couples go through things that are very challenging,
Yeah.
and sometimes the best thing to do is just make a decision that needs to be made.
And
So
Right.
I have to imagine too,
Oh.
it must have been hard for you.
Girl, what is that? See, this is why I can't interview people, because I would have been like, all right, so y'all broke up. Why? And the BS foolishness she about to give, it would not fly with me. It would not fly. Oh my God, you have to, if you love someone, let it go. Wait, if you love someone, let what go? Where? If two people are in love, why would we ever let it go? Girl, there's a saying that I don't understand. I don't understand this saying. And if you live by it, I apologize. This is my worldview. You don't have to take it. If you love something, let it go. And if it comes back, then you know. What you know? What exactly? If you leave me, if I leave and then I had changed my mind and I come back, okay, period. But if I'm in love with you and you left me, ain't no where you coming. What do you mean? Come back where? Come back after what? After you went out there and dipped it and did it and come back? Absolutely not. We won't know. Ain't nothing to know, but we're good. Absolutely not. There's billions of people in the world. I'll find another. I will find another. I'll be by myself. It's never that serious. I don't believe in soulmates. I don't believe in twin flames. I believe in myself in terms of being by myself. Like, ain't nobody got time. So desperate out here for love, talking about, oh, I left him and he left me, he cheated, blah, blah, blah. But now he's back. Absolutely not. Back where?
You guys to come to this conclusion when there's a lot of eyes on you and a lot of people like being like, we love you guys
Absolutely.
together, blah, blah, blah," and you're like,
Exactly.
okay, but we're going through, like, we're trying
Yeah.
to be ourselves and the best that we can be. How
Exactly.
like were the conversations you both had with that?
You know, we had a
'Cause
lot of
yeah.
conversation,
Oh,
and at the end of the day, it was just like a mutual agreement of like,
yeah.
you know what, this is for the best. And
Right.
I've definitely thought about like, our supporters, our fans and stuff, but
Right.
I'll trust that they'll understand that, this decision needed to be made if we were able to come to
Yeah.
this mutual
Yeah.
decision.
Right. And
So
like
yeah,
obviously you want to keep some things private and to yourself,
absolutely.
but
Yeah.
for the fans who are hoping for a definitive answer of like why did they break up? Like what would you say? Like what's kind of like the main reason?
Listen, a lot happens in relationships,
Okay.
and I just feel like
And this is why I won't have friends online and I couldn't do an interview. I would have stopped her mid-sentence. I would have stopped her mid-sentence. A lot happens in relationship. Yeah, that's cute. A lot does happen in relationship. A lot do happen in relationship. What happened in yours? What happened in yours? Because like, what do you mean a lot? By the way, this is very poised, very put together. Very, I'm here for it. This is how you answer a question. This is how you keep your privacy. Shelley did nothing wrong. My nose itself could never. My nose, my nose itself would never let that go. I would never let that go. You gonna walk out of that interview. You're gonna hate me. You're gonna tell your PR people to never let you come interview with me again because that would not be a good enough answer for me. Absolutely not.
relationships,
Okay.
and I just feel like people can understand that. I think out
Yeah.
of respect for the both of us, like the details aren't really
Yeah.
necessary,
Right.
like I think we can be peaceful and just understand that, we're good with being able
There is no way you're gonna come on my show, announce that you are breaking up, and then tell me that the details aren't really necessary. Absolutely not. By the way, I'm very happy for. I hope she's not sad. I hope she meant this and that she's doing well because I'm very happy for her. I've been wanting this. I now need her and Olandria to get back together. Olandria can also kick Nick. I mean, maybe there's still more to gain from being with Nick. So, like, whatever, the photo ops are still pretty, but like, Elijah can definitely kick Nick and they can come back together and do like a show. They can do a dating show together. Like, look, ain't nobody got time. Look, I am okay with her going back and Olandria and them making up and talking it through and then having some kind of reality show. I'm not invested in it. So the fact that there are questions about who this woman is Nick is traveling the world with that is not Alandria is enough for me. I don't care what you gotta say. Oh, they're friends, it's his friends girl. I care nothing about none of that. You're embarrassing me. You're a child. Get out of my face. Talking about I'm a DJ. I walk around and I taste food. It's like, girl, get a job. Nick, get a job, girl. I'm sorry. Nick hasn't done anything wrong yet that I've seen, right? But there's something about the childish way that he operates that I find very annoying. But in all fairness, for the Nicolandria stands, I agree with you. Nick hasn't done anything. He just irks my spirit a little. But I do support them, so.
to be on the same page.
And that's like such an interesting thing, like you were mentioning, Danny, just like knowing that so many people ship
Yeah.
the two of you, and were supporting you guys. Did that sort of, do you think that extended the relationship longer than it might have lasted because you kind of like felt in a way that you owed it to the fans to kind of like stick together?
No, because like our relationship from the very beginning was understanding of
I'm sorry. We'll watch this some other time. These two guys are annoying me. I don't know why. Maybe I need to chill. Wait, let's breathe. Let's do some breathing. We need to do some breathing exercise because I don't know why these two men annoy me. These men literally haven't done anything. They're just sitting there, and them being there just kind of annoy me for some reason. I have no clue why it is. Maybe it's the fakeness, it's the performance. All of it is just annoying me. That ain't right. Now, why would you write this? You know me. I'm trying to be diplomatic. All right, we'll get to this tomorrow. I think because we have so much to get through. All right, let me put out the call. For those people who identify with ideas like ADOS and foundational Black Americans, if you're in here and you identify strongly with those words, drop a 1 if you identify with it and you would like to come up. And you would like to come up for what we're about to talk about. No, 235 K_235. That's not why. It's just I don't like people who I feel like are just like performing. Like I love a good performance, but be good at the performance. You know what I mean? Like don't let me know that like I don't like that I can see right through you. So is there anyone who is like ADOS and wants to jump up here? Let me check my Discord and see if there are any ADOS in there that want to come up. Because I would like to have another person who is ADOS to review what I'm about to do. I have not seen this clip. Oh, CJ, of course you can come up. Give me about 30 minutes in, and yes, yeah. I'm going to open the panel. But here's how the panel is going to go. I will keep one other person. Maybe it's going to be CJ, and then we'll rotate the third person. Because I do want to have some thought. I have a lot of thoughts. Now, apparently this is this is African American versus African generally. Forgot what country this guy is from. War issue debate. And I thought I should have watched it before, and I was going to do that today, but I got really busy. And I'm very nervous. I'm very nervous. Not about what is happening here, but I'm nervous about what I'm going to hear. Because these people be out of pocket when they talk. So we're going to watch it together. Let me know if I'm freezing. Am I freezing? How is the signal? Because I updated my internet. I've updated my internet at the request of you all. So right now I should be giving face. All right. Y'all said it's good. Cool. All right, here we go. Let's jump right in. The three people at this end, these three, they are the podcast hosts, Eli, Ace, and something else. They're not very smart or thoughtful or whatever. They usually have conversation with women about like nothing. They are very manosphere people, like manosphere adjacent. They're fully in the manosphere. But I haven't watched them in a while because they give nothing. They're pretty much essentially useless in terms of their podcast contribution to like the marketplace of idea. I find them very irrelevant, useless, not insightful, just like not. They offer nothing, right? So like I don't watch them generally. So I was provided this video in the Discord. That's how I came upon this video. Let's do it. Did I hit the intro Thank you all for being here. I appreciate you all. Let's be respectful to each other in the chat. Yeah, let's just try to be as respectful as we can be. I will be blocking people, by the way. These men are held together by duct. Even more flimsy than that, the ultimate enigma. I appreciate you, but yeah, no. They even worse than that. But let's get into these convo. I'm very annoyed, but let's go.
If you're teaching a high school kid, just
No,
ask
I'm
me
not
the
trying to
question. You
teach
gave
a
me
high
list
school
of
kid.
questions, and you said we're going to have these discussions. But to go to Nancy, I wasn't born. I wasn't.
No,
I
you're
didn't
missing-
invent
you're-
it.
I'm
Don't
trying-
give me the
I'm-
Nürnberg.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the Bro Chat, where we can have real and honest conversation, get away from the monotonous conversations about dating and relationships and all the goofy stuff we talk about that's entertaining. But, you know, we here to have some real conversations today, man. No book of. I go by the name of Eli. As always, we got Ace with us.
Yes, indeed. The Daily Rapper Crew, the greatest core with the conversation you've been waiting for. You heard? Ace the GOAT.
Okay. You was waiting. You was waiting all week to say that, was you?
Nah, I just thought about that.
Yeah. All right. Last but not least, we got Jill.
You had it actually flowed. So now I gotta come. Hello, have a great day. Nah, what it do? It's your boy Jew. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. You heard?
Listen, today's conversation is long overdue. Intellectual class with two brilliant minds that are different perspectives of.
I feel I'm gonna speed it up, but I want y'all to hear like just ooh.
About the Black agenda. On one side we got Dave Anderson, on the other side we got Frank Zenu.
Yes.
Let me start here with Dave. Can you explain to the audience who you are and why you are qualified to have this conversation?
I feel like my qualifications are I'm a foundational Black American, 22-time best-selling author, radio broadcast professional, husband, father, and liver of the Black experience for the past 5 decades. I don't think I need a doctorate, but I got a couple degrees. You know, okay. It's all right. Aside from that, I've been living, baby.
Okay.
Let's go.
And Frank, can you let the audience know who you are and why you are qualified to have this conversation?
My name is Frank Zano, of course, from Benin Republic, West Africa. And I've lived in about 9 African countries. I was trained to be a journalist, so I've been a reporter for the Washington Times for 13 years. That allowed me to live in Asia, Europe, Africa. And now, of course, I live in the United States of America. So I have a link. I seem to be the only bridge who can compare what I know from where I came from and then seeing people that we're taking from that place now. So I can look at the two and be able to spell out the similarities and what the root cause of some of the problems are.
I'm going to be annoyed this whole video. What do you mean you seem to be the only bridge? Being an immigrant is not unique, girl. Being a immigrant who is a reporter who lives in America is not like, what do you mean you're the only okay, fine. It is him being maybe he's like nervous. Like this is nerves. He's just they're just blabbering. It's nerves. Like what do you mean I am the only one who can bridge a gap? God, there's too many immigrants in America for you to think you're special for being an immigrant. You ain't special. Like about you're the only one who can bridge the gap, girl.
The first topic I want to get into is how do you define culture? And under your definition, do Black Americans have a unique culture? Let me start here with Frank.
Well, I'm glad you used the word unique culture. So yes, I'm sure you all saw the episode, that got everybody on my case, except this gentleman. was the only one brave enough to say, well, look, before I cut him into pieces, let me give him a chance to come into the studio and explain, you know, to the audience.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. People say, oh, you're from Benin. And I'll say, yes. And they say, what's Benin culture like? And then I freeze. Because there's nothing like a Benin culture. Or if you're from Ghana, or if you're from Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Liberia, there is no such thing. But if you say, oh, you are Yoruba, I said, yes. What is Yoruba culture like? Then he or she is able to start to talk about it. So there are similarities which I'm going to really explain, and you can see it. So I'm first going to ask. He's been on my show. He's seen my. I do not put together that show, which I fund from my own pocket because I just want to say things to make people angry. No, it's because I really care, and sometimes I get frustrated about what I have seen.
I don't care nothing about your frustration, girl. Hurry up and get through this. Define culture. Define culture, and do African Americans have a culture specific to them? Do that. Because all this blabbering back and forth, fix your face. No, like, I hate when people, he's probably defensive because I saw a clip going around of someone saying black people don't, African Americans don't have any culture. I don't know what y'all biting off of if there's no culture here, right? So I'm not about to do this with you. You're about to get dragged in a minute if you don't define what culture means. You're about to get dragged. Like, what do you mean? Oh, define culture. I care a lot. I promise I care a lot. People are dragging me, but I don't care if you care. Define culture. Ooh.
From the continent where I come from, and what I see here about my great-great-great-grandfathers, uncles, sisters who were taken away. So African Americans would say, well, you're not one like them. Yes, I know, but I'm walking past my cousin, my nieces every day. So what is in my head is what is in their head. And what I'm explaining is something that they must listen to when I say there is no such thing as African American culture. They're like, what do you mean? Well, culture for me is not dance, food, clothing. Those are not cultures. Culture is a world.
Culture is not dance, food, clothing. Okay, you don't know what culture is. If you don't believe culture can include the food, the dance, the clothing, if you don't know that culture can, though it is distinguished from, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. What do you mean it's not that for you? Then what it is? What is it? I also hate when people define something by what it's not in their head. Define culture. You get one more chance before I start dragging you more.
View. The worldview is what drives people. Their relationship to wealth.
This is dumb. It's not true. People of different culture can have similar worldview that drives them. Like, this is not true. You can't define culture. You're pissing me off. Like, please define culture and explain how African Americans don't have one now. I see why he's getting dragged.
Money, to community, to marriage, to family. It's the worldview they have. That's the foundation of a culture. And number two, there is no possibility for you to have a culture without having a language. So if you read most of the books written by brilliant African Americans, the first thing you see, the headline is, the traumatic thing about slavery is not merely changing your environment. The traumatic thing about slavery is not merely asking you to work long hours. The Russians had hard labor camps in Siberia. Many countries, Japanese had it, where people work and they die. The traumatic thing about slavery is one thing only, which everyone has written about. They took our language away. They took our culture away. They took our history and religion away. That is a traumatic thing about being a slave. Now, if they took those things away, how and when were they recovered?
This man is dumb. I don't know if he's dumb. Let me not say that. That is a dumb take. While culture and language are closely intertwined, and language can be a big component of culture, different culture can actually share language. Language is not the thing that defines culture, but for language, you can still have culture. The fact that you're sitting up there saying, oh, they took culture, do you think culture is the static thing that is never changing? Is that what you think culture is? Because culture does evolve. Culture does change. And yes, you can take a people's language, shove a bunch of people from different cultures together, and they can create a new culture. The fact that you're sitting up here bald as you are, talking like you do, is pissing me off. The fact that you're sitting up here doing what you're doing right now is pissing me off. You're not about to define culture by language. You're not about to sit up here and say, because people were slaves and brought to the new Americas, because you think that they lost their quote unquote culture that was specifically from whatever African tribe they came from, that when they came to the Americas, they couldn't create a new culture. That's not a thing. Culture change. Culture is born and then remade and recreated, and there are new cultures popping up around different ideas. The fact that you're sitting up here talking about, oh, you lost your culture, so you have no culture. No, they don't have that specific culture. No, I can't put him as try. No. I'm not dragging. I'm just annoyed because it feels like he said some foolishness. I'm not going to go look it up. Got dragged for it, and now it's trying to redefine culture in a way that makes African American not have a culture, and it's annoying. He will plant the bush, water the bush, and dance around the bush. Senior African men speak in parables, assume superiority. Yes, this is what he's doing. He is like really speaking in a way that is condescending. But I don't like, mind you, I don't mind you being condescending. Be condescending all you want, but be right in your condescension. Like, be right. You just gonna sit up here talking about, oh, because you lost your language, you don't have a culture. What? Absolutely not. And then you go and define culture to remove food, clothing, dance. How do you even do that? How do you fix your face to say culture does not include dance, music, food? Food.
So I met a gentleman. I was attending a conference in Singapore, and I met this gentleman who was a Korean sociologist. So we started talking during coffee, and I said, oh, I lived in Korea for 2 years when I was reporting. And he said, oh, wow. And then we started talking. I don't remember how the conversation came about when he asked me. He said, so your country was colonized? I said, yes, and his country, Korea, was colonized by the Japanese for 49 years. And he said, what did you guys, meaning referring to people in Benin, what did you lose as a result of colonization? And I froze and I said, whoa, nobody has ever asked me that question. So I said, Prof, you tell me, and that will give me some idea. And he said, no, we're Koreans, we're colonized by the Japanese. So when they left, all we lost was time. We just went back being Koreans. And from that day, I could tell clearly, what did we lose as a result of colonization in Africa?
Oh my God, this is such a dumb take. Like, my head is slightly spinning from how dumb this is. Because one singular Korean man told you that, mind you, I don't think this ever happened, but fine, that they lost nothing does not mean they did not lose anything. And because you lost a part of a culture does not mean the culture died. The singular pillar within a culture does not, by definition, makes and define the culture. Like, it is weird to say, oh, because you don't have the culture you were born with anymore, you no longer have a culture, or hear me out, or the culture from which you came has changed, or you came to the Americas or were dragged to the America and were forced to develop your own culture. in his mind, let me not use the word dusty. In his mind, culture is this static thing. And once you were supposed to be, not even that you were a part, that you were supposed to be a part of said culture. If you are not a part of that culture that he believes you to be a part of, then you have no culture. Not completely ignoring that in Jamaica, Haiti, the US, everywhere in the New World where slaves came, they created their own culture over time. That is culture. You might not want to admit it is culture. You might not see it as culture, but guess what? You don't get to define culture. When you say culture to me is, I don't care. I don't care what culture to you means. You are not the arbiter of what culture is. So it's going to be a no for me. It's going to be a no from me.
What did you lose as a result of slavery? If you don't fix that which you lost, you're not going to make any way forward. So in Africa, the countries that exist today were never there. They forced a group of tribes that have their own distinct cultures to become a country. So they've lost their distinct cultures, trying to have a culture as a collective, which is never going to happen. So for me, first.
And that's why you were dumb. Sorry, that is actually why you're dumb. Oh, they lost the culture and they can't come together and form a new one. Oh, got you. So culture can change. Culture cannot people cannot come together and form new cultures. Different cultures cannot meet and create something new. That doesn't exist in your mind. I also hate that they're letting him just like ramble on and on. Just go shut up. Like I'm not about to let you ramble on and on and on about nothing. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Like we're not gonna just sit there and let you ramble about nothing. And I think part of the problem is probably none of them sitting beside him have taken a sociology course ever, right? Or an anthropology course. And even artifacts, like cultural artifacts, how they have changed over time is an indicator of how culture has shifted over time. Culture is not static. It's not stagnant. It moves, right? Clothing, how we wear our bodies, what is seen as beautiful versus not, how we eat, what we eat. It shifts over time with the introduction of new technology, new cultures, other cultures. Like it shifts. The fact that we are having a conversation about how you cannot change or create new cultures is wild. This is an insane position. It is a dumb position. It is not just insane. It is dumb. It is actually dumb.
And foremost, when I talk
literally
about culture, I'm talking about a worldview, meaning the collective have to have one reason they are here on earth, and that thing is what drives them.
No, sir, no. Religion might be a part of a culture, but it's not necessarily the culture. You can be a part of a culture. You literally can be a part of a culture where you don't believe the same thing the other person believes in terms of your worldview. That's not how you define culture. It is a multifaceted test where none of the factors is, unless otherwise stated, determinative. Like, what do you mean? Like, oh my God. Sorry, I'm getting a slight headache. I didn't realize this was dumb. I didn't realize this was so dumb. I wish I had picked something else now. And I thought this would be an easy stream. I thought without the Jesse Wu part of the stream, this would just go very easily.
It's what makes them wage wars, conquer people, anything. You ask anybody, in 1884, it was the Irish journalist who finally found a word to describe the English man, which he called the manifest destiny. That exceptionalism of the Englishmen, now you call them Americans. The American exceptionalism is the American culture, that they believe that God put them on this earth to colonize and civilize others. And that's what drives them to go out there and try to give freedom and fight for freedom and do all the things they do. Now, good or bad, I'm not giving any value You ask the Japanese, he will tell you their worldview. So their dance and food, and no, those are not. I came from a place where, as a young boy, I was given a worldview, and it guided me everywhere I went. So when you meet me outside my culture, you can tell from my behavior, he must come from a culture that believes in XYZ. So a culture becomes more pronounced when you are outside the group. As an individual, outside your group, people must be able to tell.
Okay. Dave, what is your rebuttal to that?
It's not so much a rebuttal, it's a difference in philosophy, right?
All right. See, this is the problem. So we just not gonna challenge none of that. No, we just not gonna. It's just no. It's not a difference in philosophy. He needs to justify how he defines culture. He still has not defined culture and explain why African Americans don't have it. You don't get to sit up. It's just a different. No, it's not a difference in philosophy. We need a working definition of culture. We need a working definition of culture. And from there, we can move. So if we need to argue about what culture is, we're going to argue about what culture is. Then we could go to the experts, the anthropologists and the sociologists. We can go to them and try to figure out what culture is. Because when Phantom Follicles sat over there and said, oh, culture does not include, and it is not a part, like the clothing, the food, the dance, that's not a part of, that's not culture. It's like, oh, but language fully is culture. So you're telling me that people who speak the same language across the world are a part of the same culture? Are you dumb? Language might be a part of culture, but it is not determinative of said culture. Absolutely not. And to sit up there and say, we just have a different worldview, no. Y'all let that man talk y'all to death. I think what happened is they allowed this man to talk too much and they were not paying attention. And so he got to get away with foolishness. These men finally submitted. I love it.
It is, and I think we got to thank Frank for even coming here, because I know for some people this would be very adversarial. Frank and I, we talk all the time. We're very, very good folk. And there's a couple of things that I got to push back on simply because they were not available to us. See, when Frank was born, he inherited.
God, why is this going off the rail? Oh my God, why is this going off the rail? Y'all literally can just talk about culture. There is no reason to do any of this. Just drag him for the fact that he has not defined culture. He made an argument. He cannot defend the argument. Define culture. Please define culture. Tell him why African Americans have culture. Don't go up there and, oh, when I was born, and blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares nothing about that. Actually address the problems. It's so frustrating because all of them want to talk, and it's just like, y'all just want to posture. Y'all just want to posture, and it's very annoying. Y'all are very annoying. Like, just, so I would like to say, anybody care nothing about that. Culture is this. We have culture because it's defined as this, and we have it. Therefore, culture. He's wrong. He's useless. We're not about to do that. Phantom Follicles can go somewhere with his foolishness. Greylock's just sitting up here letting Phantom Follicles run amok, and I don't like that.
Inherited a culture. We had to make one with what we had. Some of us, if I were to swab any one of you, you would find some Nigerian, you would find some Ghanaian. Like, we had to hodgepodge, not to mention out of all of the places that Black people were forced into when we were slaves, 3% came to what we now consider the United States of America. And then
Uncle is one Benny but named Frank. Culture man. Get out of my face, ultimate enigma. You play entirely. To be named Frank from anywhere in my continent. Well, I guess it's not my continent, but Mother Africa coming over here critiquing someone about culture is absolutely diabolical work. To be named Frank coming over here talking about culture and colonization is absolutely diabolical work. But Beard is absolutely doing nothing. Beard is literally doing nothing. So Laura, are you Doctor? I don't want to say your name, but are you Doctor from my I'm gonna say Dr. C? Are you Dr. C from the Discord?
We were bred over time. We were buck broken over time. They would take our women and grape them out of respect for your channel. You know what I'm saying? Drop the G. And then on top of that, they had a
What you got it being hard and buck broken have to do with culture, girl? Get to the point. Tell him that you got culture and he's just. The fact that y'all so readily offer up the fact that we just why we offering up buck broken? So like I don't understand. Like I don't understand why we offer that up. So like
a split breast system. And the split breast system means that one breast would feed the white children of the slave master, and the other one would feed the black children that were going to be bought off and sold. We also have a situation where we had to face things that no other black person.
Yo, the question is, what is culture, and do black people have culture in the US? Yes. Explain. I'm not sure what is happening. I honest to God, don't know what is happening right now. I do not know. I could not tell you what is happening right now.
On the continent had to face, taking our children and feeding them to alligators, lynching, Jim Crow, all of those things. And when you look at it, whether we choose to acknowledge it or not, the pulse of America runs through foundational Black Americans. Who was the first person to die in the Revolutionary War? Crispus Attucks, Black man, foundational Black American, right? Harriet Tubman made the Underground Railroad and stopped it in Philadelphia. There are all of these things that have happened that make it who we are. Now, as a person who was the first Black youth president of
Yo, I am so annoyed because he has a slam dunk. This idiot, not him. The other guy was like, oh, Black Americans don't have culture. Then why are you following? Right? What are you following? The fact you're sitting up here talking about Black women, people don't have culture means you should be dragged mercilessly, mind you. And so, like, to sit there and think, oh, you know what? Instead of like telling him that we do have culture, this is our culture. You went on a tangent about buck broken and feeding to alligators, which like I don't understand why you would like introduce. Someone said, "Hey, Delroy, say hi." Delroy, say hi. No. I thought this was gonna be an easy watch. I did, because I've seen Dave. What's his name? Dave Anderson. Him. I've seen him like, and he's like very pro-Black, and so I assumed he would mop the floor with the other one, and it's just like they're mopping the floor. They're mopping the floor by themselves, not each other. Like it's just.
of an organization called the National Conference of Christians and Jews. To Frank's point, I do agree. You don't really see your culture until you're out of it. So I'm a raisin and buttermilk in a conversation where there's a bunch of white Christians and a bunch of Jewish people, and they're like, hey, we do this. I'm like, no, black people don't do that. You know what I'm saying? From the way we walk, the way we talk, the way we eat, the way we move. Not to mention, you can't go anywhere on this earth without seeing our influence. The problem is, unlike any other black culture on the face of the planet, we have been colonized and monetized for profit by everyone, including the Koreans. K-pop ain't nothing but R&B. Let's call it what it is. And it's R&B under duress, because if you look at what happened.
Okay, I don't dislike this. It's so annoying because he's answering the question indirectly, right? Define culture, explain what culture is, and then drag people for stealing and using the export, the black culture export, the black American export in terms of culture. And not even export, because that implies a giving off, right? But the co-opting of black culture in music in particular. So like, yes, but the fact that I had to go do all that mental work to get to the point you're trying to make is a problem for me. So 0.5 points to Dave. Sorry, but this is why black women need to stop feeding and supporting these men delusion that they run and lead the black community. Black women should be speaking. Funny enough, I actually think very few black women would not be able to do well in this conversation. I think most black women can do well in this conversation. This is wild. These men just like to ramble on and on and on about nothing.
Happened with Megan Thee Stallion when she was dealing with those K-pop girls. She was like, oh, it's serious up in here. Because if they miss a step, they get what Joe Jackson gave Mike and them, but worse. There are all of these things that take place that no one wants to talk about. So no, we don't have a language because we weren't allowed to speak our language under penalty of death. When you talk about you can't come to the cookout and things of that nature, people forget. Picnic is an abbreviated slang term, which means you get to picnic to lynch. Postcards came from pictures that they used to take the back of and mail for people who couldn't see the lynching that they had. All of these things we survived. And the funny thing is, everyone's coming over here.
Girl, do you have culture or not? Like, I don't understand. Like, just answer the question. Like, this is annoying me. Like, the historical conversation is good, beautiful, amazing. But what you're doing right now is not answering the question. What is culture and do you have it? Culture is defined as, I don't know, belief, customs, art, etc., right? Of a particular, let's do social group, place and time, right? This would be how Merriam-Webster defined culture. If you didn't put forward a definition, don't talk to me, that's the definition you're going to use, right? That's what I would say. And based on this definition, we have culture. These are all Black culture, from this kind of food, this kind of dance. It is a part of our culture. Music is a part of our culture. This is part of the Black culture. Now, there are subcultures and different kinds of experiences of Black people, but that does not negate a general consensus around a culture without being completely a monolith, right? We can have the monolith conversation on two fronts. I'm not about to do that. My issue here is the fact that Dave is sitting up here not able to answer the question. Sorry, but this is what I read this.
And benefiting from the fact that we put out the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment, all of those things that started as the Black liberation movement, but then got shoehorned into civil rights because everybody wants to come off of our pain. It's still a part of who we are. American culture is Black culture. The problem is, not only did we have to create it, but everybody else got to monetize it. We don't own major forms of media. So the message that goes out to the world about foundational Black Americans is very lopsided. It's very negative. Even Frank said to Nancy, he said, well, what is your culture? Twerking? Negating the fact that twerking started in Africa. mating rituals, things of that nature, tying of the hip, stop me when I go wrong. All of these.
These men just want to hear themselves talk, and I am so sorry. I am so sorry that that was a thing. I'm so sorry for I am so very sorry. Yeah, I think we should just skip and go and watch Jesse Wu now. Yeah, I think I should just watch Jesse Wu instead of this. Drop a 1 if I should continue, and a 2 if I should go to Jesse Wu. That's the only option we got. Because I am embarrassed by Dave. I'm embarrassed by Dave's inability to defend something that is so obvious. Like yes, black people have culture. Y'all bite it all the time, right? Like I am. Yeah. Let's give it some more minutes.
These things get put out as if that's who we are. And it's a very limited, very narrow-minded, very sore and very disingenuous snapshot of who we are, because we get put into killers, baby mamas, this and that and the other. And then when you look at how the media is weaponized, right? They'll take people throughout the diaspora and then put them on platforms and then bring them here. I'll give you an example. There's a show on CBS called Bob Hart's Abishola. And she said things that were much more incendiary than what Frank said. You know, oh, what is it? Gangbangers and baby mamas?
Crazy.
No. That energy is designed to keep us a certain way. And then when you talk about how the entertainment is weaponized, because that's the message, that's our largest export. It always has been. Our talent and our ability to entertain, but not capitalize on said entertainment. You can't point to one major Black-owned record company. You can't point to one major Black-owned media outlet. You can't point to one major media or technological distribution center that is controlled, owned, and managed everywhere. And when it comes out of our mouth, it goes everything we do. We took a construction worker's boot and made. Of course, we don't have a language, but let's not be disingenuous and act like it doesn't matter, because it does. Because as foundational Black American goes, so goes everybody else in society.
So, Frank, let me ask you a question. If slavery erased our Black Americans' culture, what do you call what we built after slavery? What do you call that?
Well, you have to give me an example of what you mean by what we build.
See, this is the part where I would have just cussed him out. I was like, the fact that they sat up here and respectfully disagreed with, you gonna have to tell me what you build is nasty work. You gonna have to tell me what you build is absolute. I'm a cuss you out. Point blank period. Like I don't curse generally, but I'm a cuss you out. Because it's disingenuous to sit up there and say, oh, there isn't any culture, like there isn't any Black culture. Like, that's disingenuous. And I'm not, what do you mean what we build? From music to food to clothing. And these are major parts of culture, right? And if you meant infrastructure, then say infrastructure, but you can't say culture and then say there is no Black, like you can't do that. But Tweedle, Three Dumbs, and Dave are just sitting there like letting this man run amok. They're just letting this man run amok.
What are you referring to?
You tied culture back to African and something that you inherit, but you said that got erased during slavery, but we built something clearly Black Americans have built throughout slavery and the culture that we have currently.
What I'm asking is, give me an example so I'll be able to respond to that particular thing.
Well, like things like gospel is something that we built after slavery.
Songs and music,
foods that we eat, that we consume.
Sure, songs and music exist in every society.
Is that not a part of culture?
No.
Absolutely not. See, songs and music exist in every culture. Okay, fine. I'll give you that. It's the kind of song, it's the kind of music, it's the kind of that, it's the kind that matters, not that it exists as a name under this topic of music. Yes, but Jamaican dancehall is different from R&B. Like, what do you mean? and they can influence each other. Like, I'm not sitting up here doing this with him. I would have. It is what it is. You're getting dragged. You're getting dragged immediately by the non-existent follicles on your head. Like, when you like, I'm not. Songs and mind you, the definition of culture includes these art, like the artifacts. It includes music. It includes beliefs. It includes custom, and it includes art. Art. The fact that you're sitting up here talking about, yeah, music exists everywhere, so it's not a part of culture. What? Maybe he didn't mean culture, but if you didn't mean culture, you're gonna have to correct yourself in real time. If you did not mean the fact that he's allowed to say this, and all four of these men sat up there, all four of them sat there and said, allow this man to say music is not a part of culture, is actually insane. The fact that all four men allowed him to say that music is not a part of culture, where art is like one of the main driver in culture, is actually annoying me. Yes, so language doesn't exist everywhere. Right. Language exists everywhere. It is how it is spoken that we care about. It is how it is used that we care about. Like the fact that you're sitting up here talking about oh my God, music exists everywhere. Yeah. People exist everywhere. They're different kinds of people.
Let me come to that. And first, let me make a little response to David's assertion that we were not allowed. So in Benin or Ghana or Nigeria, you pick any of the 54 countries in Africa, right? If you had gone into a Yoruba tribe, which is now part of Nigeria, they would speak Yoruba. Now, when we were put together forcefully as countries, today, my nieces and nephews can't even speak my language properly. And the French and English, they can't even speak it properly. Because in one classroom, you have 36 kids who come from different tribes in that classroom. So they can only use English or French or Spanish or Portuguese to teach this myriad of tribes now who don't speak their language anymore. African Americans were not prevented from speaking their language. When the ship arrived, it was one from this tribe, that tribe, that tribe, that tribe. So automatically, you can speak to each other. And when you don't speak your language for a while, like I've been outside Africa now, going 40 years. If I meet any of my uncles and I start to try to speak my language, I'm interfered by English constantly, and I can't finish it. I can't make a coherent sentence in my own language, because at school, you could not use that language because we are now a bucket of different languages. The same thing happened here. You were brought as a shipload of different languages. That is why Creole and Patois were created. So you use the only word you can understand, a little bit of the colonizer or whoever is controlling you, and try to speak to someone who comes from Senegal. You don't know what he speaks. So over time, it becomes this hodgepodge of a language called Creole or Patois. In Sierra Leone, they have it. In Liberia, they have it. In Nigeria, they have the Pidgin English because they can't speak to each other. So nobody prevented you. All you need is not to use your language because there is no one there to.
That is a new culture developing. Like, I don't understand what is the problem. Like, it just feels like this hard-headed uncle that wants to preach to you that, like, this culture is the best. And you can say, yeah, you can have that opinion, but you can have the opinion that your culture or this culture is the best, and that's what we should have. But you don't get to say that is not culture. You don't get to do that. You can have your opinion on what culture you believe is better, but because you think a dusty culture is better than another culture does not mean you get to diminish and say that that other culture is not culture. Absolutely. You can't do that. You can have your dusty preferences. We don't care. I don't care, at least. He needs to just say that Black Americans made it possible for the diaspora to have the privileges they do when they come to the States, but he doesn't understand enough about the topic to speak on it. Yeah, I think he's doubling down on a position he had previously, which is an idiotic position, out of frustration and hatred, maybe, I don't know what. He said something to the effect of Black people or African Americans don't have culture. This is an idiotic position, right? And it's a disrespectful thing to say. And you don't get to disrespect people and don't expect them to come back at you and ask you to explain yourself. And now, instead of saying, I am sorry, I should not have said that, he is doubling down, sounding as dumb as he's ever been. And none of the four men sitting across from him can hold him accountable. They just allow him to go on these dusty soliloquies that do not explain anything.
Speak to, and the next generation, it's gone. The Jews, however, it was Jews. They took them as Jews. Even though they went from country to country to country, they were lucky enough to keep talking to each other because they can understand each other. So they were able to retain the language. This is my starting point. It happened to us on the continent. So don't be fooled. You hear countries like Nigeria, Ghana. If you ask 5 Ghanaians, one from the Ashanti, one from the Ewe, the Ga, the Akwamu, and the northern region, and ask them, are you Ghanaians? Yes, we are Ghanaians. Look at our passport. Ask them, what is Ghanaian culture? And they'll start looking at each other. There is no such thing. Ask them, what do you speak in Ghana? They'll start looking at each other. Ask them, what is the Ghanaian sense of value? There's no such thing. How do you guys marry in Ghana? There is no such thing. But you say you're Ghanaians. So what happened to us happened here. And when I arrived here, I understood it. When I went to Haiti, I was like, whoa. When I went to Jamaica, the same thing. So when I said, I was only speaking here, so I said,
he's lying. He's lying. This is a straight up lie. You will never, ever find a Jamaican who says Jamaica doesn't have a culture. That's not a thing. He can say what he wants about any other culture. That's not a thing. And that's why I need the Americans here to drag him for filth, but they're not doing it. And that's... It's pissing me off. It's pissing me off that he's not up here talking about, oh, there's not a cult. No, drag him. Absolutely drag him.
Americans, I would have said the same thing about my own countries in the continent. We have no culture.
Yeah, but from that video, what I got from it is you put Haitians on a pedestal.
I didn't. No, let me correct you.
When in comparison to Black Americans, you said Haitians, they have a culture. Like you said
no,
that out your
I
mouth.
said. So it was a long video about Haiti. And during that conversation, I began to talk about why Haitians can't fix Haiti. Because you don't have Haitians. You have just a country forcefully imposed upon you a citizenship, but you are from different places in Africa. But right now, if you go somewhere, you would speak Creole. And somebody would say, oh, that is Haitian. That's what I meant. Not putting them on any pedestal.
So they have a language.
They created.
So if people from the US go anywhere, they will say, oh, American. Mind you, my inflections aren't even specifically like American inflection. And people, when I'm in Europe or in Asia, they dub me as American. Right? And so like this idea that, oh, you can go anywhere and they'll know where you're from. Yeah, so can American. So what's the problem? What's the problem? It is a culture now. What's your problem? Mind you, Americana is a culture. We'll get to that in a minute, but Americana is a culture. African uncles are the reason why Africa is in shambles today. The uncles are mad because they all want Beyonce and Mary J. African American aboard their uncle. Here's the thing. Not just like African American women aboard these uncles. It's not just that, right? It's the unwillingness to say I am wrong or I was wrong. That is very perturbing. Like that perturbs me. By the way, thank you, Mia. Like that is annoying to me. I hate when people can say, you know what? Look, I was wrong. Please skip him. He's just reciting talking points he read rather than meaningfully adding to the conversation. He isn't skilled enough to engage. No, he's not. And the problem is, he's literally dog walking the rest of these people because they don't want to engage or they don't know how to engage. They're just sitting there. Also, why did 3 men need to get a fourth person, sorry, on the podcast? Why couldn't they just address him directly? Because I promise you I wouldn't need anyone to drag him. I would invite him to talk. I would. Let me know if I can drag him, please. Let me go invite him. Because I would drag him. Ain't nobody got time for this foolishness.
So,
That's-
so you want to say,
And it's not even useful in any way because it's not an international language.
so they took French and made Creole, right? Is what you're saying.
Spanish, French, and then over 200 African tribal languages into one.
But Americans would say that they took English and made their own language as well.
And what is that?
I mean, it's a broken version of English, but it's still something that we could speak to that's specifically to us.
What language is that?
I mean, it's English. He's
What-
talking about
what that
Ebonics.
is-
I don't know why y'all sitting up there begging this man to acknowledge your culture. Just tell him you have a culture and tell him to go somewhere with his foolishness. Like, why are you begging for his validation? This is a dusty degenerate. Like, why are you sitting up there talking about, oh my God, I too have a culture. We created this. We don't care. I just need you to know that you are wrong. Define culture in a way that allows you to give culture to one group but remove it from another. If you can't do that, don't talk to me. I'll take them saying Ebonics at this point. It's just so sad because you know these 3 right here don't know how to engage, and they wanted to address this man, Phantom Follicles. These 3 brought Phantom Follicles here to address him, but they could not do it alone, so they brought what they thought to be an intellectual to do the heavy lifting for them, and they're just sitting there just doing nothing. Just sitting there doing nothing.
AAVE, African American Vernacular English. The same way, for example,
I think I've heard, yes, when I came to this country in 1994, I had a debate on my campus about Ebonics.
right,
Now,
same thing.
Yeah, and somebody corrected me. I think it was my professor said, no, if you say Ebonics, there is no one collective Ebonics.
Correct.
You have to go into pockets. If the person is from the north, the south, the central, they created their own style around it. So I understand that part. That didn't even qualify as a subculture. So let me give you, Jamaicans don't have a culture. When you say the country Jamaica, no, there's no identifiable as a culture.
Absolutely not. See, this is where you're going to get dragged. I'm going to let him cook, though. I'm going to let him cook. Because I promise you, the Jamaican food and artifacts, Jamaica has a culture, and then there are subculture. African, European, and indigenous influence create the Jamaican culture, which include, but is not limited to, the music, the language, the cuisine, and like various random traditions. You don't get to say somewhere does not have a culture without first defining what you mean by culture.
But the Rastafarians have a culture. Now, let me explain what I mean by worldview. The Rastafarians
Do Rastafarian have a specific language? Because remember how initially he said a culture, y'all remember it? He also said worldview, which I'm assuming he's going to shoehorn the worldview thing into Rastafarianism. Fine, but you said language. What language do Rastafarians speak that is different from every other person? Quickly. Yes. No, him being pompous and biased does keep him from being reasonable. Yeah. It's like he shut down his logical thinking faculties. His reasoning faculties are shot at this point, defending himself.
worldview is that men were put on earth to take care of nature.
Mhm.
okay, that wealth you have to create more than consume. So they live a frugal life. So politically, they are pacifists. They will never go to war. Socially, they're communal and what we call Epicurean. They believe getting high, eat some food, and have deep conversation is what life is about.
Go mess with some Rastafarians and see if if they wouldn't go to war. Like, I don't. All right, guys. This man just talking. This man talking to talk. I'm just gonna skip to Jesse One. I'm gonna change the thumbnail tomorrow. I'm just gonna add Jesse Wu in a minute and then go, because culture does include religion, but culture is not religion. They're not synonymous, right? And so it's like very strange to me that you would just like pick. I mean, some people look at Rastafarianism as a philosophy, but like he's just like annoyingly dumb. So it's not. I don't know if he's dumb. His position is dumb and idiotic, and I think he only has his position because of his pride.
Then religiously, they are Rastafarians. Hippies are the Western version of a Rastafarians. They also had a worldview, and that dictated their relationship with wealth. The hippies believe that humans were put on earth to create and consume, and that living in community and being frugal as to wearing the most inexpensive clothing and using things together is what life is all about. So it guided how you see them dress, where they shop from, why they marry, on and on and on. That's what I mean by any society, if you want to understand them, is the worldview. The Jews believe that they were put on earth as God's chosen people, that through them, that is a worldview. Now, any child told that, forget hurting one of them, because they are driven by that. That is why they insist on having a community wherever they are. The Chinese, the white community. Do Africans that come from the continent have a community? We don't. Why? Because we don't.
So the Chinese have a community, but Jamaica ain't got no community. Chinese have a community. Mind you, all Chinese, like, yo, he's not going to have to sit up there and define community in a way that allows Rastafarians to have a community, the Chinese to have a community. That definition of culture, right? The definition of culture that he is creating has to apply to both the Japanese and also Rastafarian, but excludes African American. I would like to see him do it. I would like to see him do it. It can't be language, right? Because Rastafarian do not have their own language. So what is the through line that makes Japanese a culture, that gives Japanese a culture and gives Rastafarian a culture, but excludes African American from having a culture? I would like to see that. Quickly, I would like to see this. Sorry, I was drinking and I just started laughing as soon as I heard Japanese. Because what it sounds like is that this man has hierarchy of what he thinks are good culture, and then the bad culture, he just defines them out of existence by saying they don't exist. So he creates good culture and bad culture, and instead of saying, I just don't like this culture, he says, that's not culture. Well, it's just starting to sound like white supremacy to you. It's been African men over 50 believe they are the supreme authority on everything from geography to pomegranates. They are speaking. We must all listen. The ultimate thank you, because period, it's starting to sound like white supremacy. Starting.
Have a culture. If it would drive us to have a community. In the 50 states of the United States of America, African Americans don't have a community. They have neighborhoods. Now, people who got angry with me didn't even ask me, what does culture do anyway? What is it? That if I say you didn't have, that it makes you what? Nobody asked.
Because we don't care. The only question we need from you, 2 parts. What is it? Not what it does, but what is it? And how come we don't got it? Those are the only 2 questions you need to answer.
Ask that question. What is that thing you're trying to hold on called culture, by the way? What is it?
You care to elaborate on that then? Now?
Now I'm asking. Once upon a time, John Lennon sang a song. Imagine we don't have religion. Imagine a world without religion, without heaven and hell. He believed in what? The brotherhood of mankind. So imagine the people without a culture. Maybe they are striving to a brotherhood of mankind. So you take words out of context and then you crucify a man.
Right.
Not knowing that I am a victim of a cultureless country.
You know, that's sometimes the risk.
I think we get angry too quickly.
See, the fact that I was there being quiet and letting this man go on his dusty diatribe, the fact that he interrupted me right now would have pissed me off. Or I would have dragged him. You're not about to interrupt me because you've been talking for like the good part of 30 minutes. You're not about to interrupt me like that.
We are too sensitive. I was giving a talk, live talk the other day, and a gentleman, not the way David is behaving, he wrote the book and he said, my brother Frank, he doesn't know what this means to me. He called me on the phone and spoke with me. And we became friends, like on the phone. And I said, I got to go. Even if it's 3 hours drive, if I have to fly, I'm going to see this gentleman. Because more than this conversation, there is someone here who really is a thinker. But we got to begin to tame down and accept criticism because that is the only way.
This man saying that people are thinkers and not thinkers is kind of wild to me. It's kind of wild. When the idiots think that they're the smart one in the room, we've lost the plot.
Societies were built in this world. In my live talk, I told this gentleman when he wouldn't get off my case, and I said, let me tell you something. You don't hate the white man. You don't even fear them. Because if black people hate and fear the white man the way they hate and fear each other, you would all have left this country at the end of slavery.
Left this country and go where?
Go where?
Wait, who said black people hate white people now? Who said that? Who said that? First of all. Second of all, I don't know that it's your right to question why people stayed in the country they helped build. Like, I don't forcibly, but like, I don't know that it's your place. Like, this is wild. This is actually insane. This is actually insane. And I would drag him for filth. If I were Ados, I would drag him for filth. I would. Absolutely. Y'all don't hate them like you said. Y'all don't fear them like you said because you would have left. That's none of your business. That is none of your business. Leave and go where exactly? Where let's say where to? Which country? Which country? He just said his country in Africa. I don't remember what is it, Benin? I don't remember if it was. I know he kept saying Benin, but I don't know if that was like an example. So Benin or Nigeria, I don't remember which one he's from, but whatever. You said even there, you don't have any culture and colonization and all of that. So where are we going now? Quickly, where are we going?
Yeah.
Where did the Jews go to? You know how many lands in Africa was offered to African Americans through the Black Star Line project? It was funded by a British troop.
I know this man didn't say Marcus Garvey's Black Star Line project. That was like a scam. Actually, wait, let me not say it was a scam because that's not right. I don't think but everything I know. Let's see. The Black Star Line was a shipping company. Yeah, all right. So I'm not wrong. The Black Star Line was a shipping company founded by Marcus Garvey. It's a no from me, dog. It's a no. Mind you, Marcus Garvey is one of the great orators and all of that, but it's gonna be a no from me. It's gonna be a no. It's gonna be a no from me, dog. Telling me to go back to Africa. Absolutely not.
Marcus Garvey, and Kwame Nkrumah, the Black Star Line. Did you go? No. How did you get the Amerigo-Liberia culture moved back? 3,400 people only agreed to go to Liberia. What do you mean where to? Plenty of land everywhere. Where did you come back from? How about the Caribbean?
See, that in and of itself.
But I'm not saying it.
No.
Hold on, Frank.
I'm not.
Let me get the day
no,
real
no,
quick.
no. No. See, the thing of it is, and you got to understand, right? Like my favorite verse in the Bible is Proverbs 4:7. It says, "And all that get an understanding." You got to understand Frank's perspective. In his mind, it's like, well, shoot, why didn't you go? To me, that's no different than when Kanye sat in front of Harvey Levin and the light skin boy, never call his name, and said, well, shoot, for 400 years, that's slavery. It sounds like a choice. Like, no, it's not. It's not just that, right? It's bigger than that, because what no one talks about is the psyop that was done to us from six.
How is telling us the history also correct? But also, how is telling the history, addressing this man's sport, like they're not even talking to each other. I feel like, this is my opinion, I feel like we have two narcissists. I'm using it in the colloquial sense, not diagnosed, right? Like I'm just ha 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 he talking past each other and just want to go on long soliloquy about what they know and don't know. Well, what they know. Like I just like that has to be what's happening here, because Dave not responding to Phantom Follicles, and Phantom Follicles not even in the same like world as we are. Like Phantom Follicles is out there doing his own thing. The Phantom Follicles have been indoctrinated in white supremacy, and that's just that on that. And he cares nothing about this conversation. He only cares about spewing whatever nonsense he wants. Dave, on the other hand, I don't know what he's doing, girl.
1619 through 1865, and then after 1865 all the way through, right? So if you have been told over and over and over and over and over again that you're less than, that you ain't nothing, that you don't even get the right to call yourself a name, there are certain things that get lost in translation because he does not carry that particular experience. He's got his own experiences, and one of the things that I love, and I encourage absolutely everybody to go to this man's YouTube channel, because when he talks about black on black crime, he does not start and stop the conversation at foundational Black Americans. He talks about what's happening in Nigeria. He talks about what's happening in Liberia. He talks about what's happening in Ghana, and that is something that's happened throughout the diaspora. And the one thing we all have in common is that we were colonized and psyoped, but none more brutally than us. So if you think, for example, there have been writings from Frederick Douglass, there were writings from Harriet Tubman, there have been plenty of people who have talked about how many people did not want to leave the plantation because it was all they knew, and they were scared, almost to a point where they had Stockholm syndrome. The idea of going back to a place they'd never been or had any historical reference to, because they'd been beaten, threatened, hung, stabbed, lynched out of them. Yeah, no, I ain't going back there. Why would I? Now, me personally,
mind you, Harriet Tubman, from everything I know from my history, and I did a paper on Harriet Tubman, I don't know that she could read or write, but I could be wrong. I did this in high school, so it is what it is. So he's just talking to talk at this point. It ain't. Like I don't know. Because I remember part of my thesis was about how difficult it must have been because of how you have to like learn to engage in a way that does not require formal reading and writing in that way. And so it's like, maybe I was wrong, girl. maybe I was wrong. If y'all team is tell Frank, yeah, actually I would prefer Umar. I actually would prefer Umar on this. For some reason, this man, Dave, is not. I
know plenty of people who have repatriated, right? And I know plenty of people who love it. I know plenty of people who get called all types of vacatas and every daggone thing else over there. I also understand that there's a caste system over there. There are people, there have been times when I have been called over there mixed because of the texture of my hair or the fairness of my skin or the narrowness of my nose.
Now, Dave. Now, Dave, girl. To be fair, to be even. Hey, that's what they call it, mixed girl. Period. Jesus. Jesus. Be a biracial. Jesus, be a biracial. God period. Big Lotto. Big Dave, girl. Big Dave. This is actually not even that funny because it could have been true. Like it can be true. Like who knows? Who knows what Big Dave's been through? Who knows what Big Dave fair skin been through? Jesus be a marriage so
Because whether we like to admit it or not, when it comes to a foundational Black American line, you can always threatened, hung, stabbed, lynched out of them. Yeah, no, I ain't going back there. Why would I? Now, me personally, I know plenty of people who have repatriated, right? And I know plenty of people who love it. I know plenty of people who get called all types of akatas and every daggone thing else over there. I also understand that there's a caste system over there. There are people, there have been times when I have been called over there mixed because of the texture of my hair or the fairness of my skin or the narrow.
Yeah, guess what? I'm gonna clip that. I'm gonna play it again all the way through because I'm gonna clip that and make it into a short. Ain't no way. There is no possible way I'm not gonna clip that and make that into a short. There's zero possibility that that's not about to be clipped and made into a short. Let me shut up.
And I know plenty of people who love it. I know plenty of people who get called all types of akatas and every daggone thing else over there. I also understand that there's a caste system over there. There are people, there have been times when I have been called over there mixed because of the texture of my hair or the fairness of my skin or the narrowness of my nose. Because whether we like to admit it or not, when it comes to a foundational Black American line, you can always find, if you go up farther enough, somebody who played Master got loose in the slave quarters. Right? Or as they like to say, Black Buck got loose in the big house, but it wasn't us getting loose in the big house. You understand what I'm saying? So there's all these things. And to the John Lennon point, that's ironic. And I will tell you why. John Lennon was a part of the Beatles. The Beatles invasion came up.
Yo, this ain't right. This ain't. I a pretty red dime, if you will.
About because the Beatles were the very first Backstreet Boys. The Beatles were doing what Ike Turner was doing, what Jimi Hendrix, Richard was doing, what all these foundational Black Americans were doing, but because they were palatable. And they told you themselves that they were singing Black music no different than Elvis. So yeah, it's real easy to say, imagine when you're a European, rich, white man with an Asian wife who has more money than he knows what to do with, who had the unmitigated gall to say he was bigger than Christ himself and not get cancer.
People say I look mixed is giving. People say I talk white. Girl. Because he ain't even had to add that point. Like that's not even a point you need. Like
So yeah, you can imagine that because you're imagining it behind a gated community. And the second he stepped out of that gated community, one of his own people got it. But even that.
The question is, do Black people have culture? And neither the Phantom Follicle's dead wrong for saying no, but Dave not even saying yes. Dave not even.
Is culture. When we were not allowed to marry each other, to the point when you talked about traditions, we jumped the broom as a symbol to each other and everybody on the plantation or the property, because all slaves weren't on plantations, that this person is my person. I jumped the broom. To this day, I jumped the broom with my wife. That's a part of who we are. That is unique to us. No, we don't have a language, and I'm not going to rehash what I've already said, but we have to have a different level of understanding of what has happened, what continues to happen, and how there is a global conspiracy, whether we choose to understand it or not, to keep all of us separate. Having said that,
Just over here drinking my Horlicks and cackling. They man, they mad. They man, they mad. Both of them pissing me off, actually. Horlicks. I thought Horlicks was. Let me look up. I thought that was a medicine. Am I wrong? Oh no. I remember the cocoa looking powder now. My bad. I take that back. Mhm. 543 to the government. The government took the black man out of the home. Can I thin nose unite? Let me step out of this conversation with my big nose. let me take my big nose out of let me take my big nose out of the let me let me take y'all remember that girl on TikTok that said she had a French nose? Y'all remember when she was like, people think I was beautiful because I if you're here, ma'am, if you're here, I love you down, by the way. I love you down. Ain't no hate, girl. Ain't no hate. That girl was like, you're still cute with your big nose. I was like, girl, period. Thank you. Because if I drag you now, I'm the bad person. So that lady came on my TikTok, girl. That girl came on my TikTok and she was like, as a Haitian, I like everyone was just jealous of me because I was pretty and people thought I was mixed. And I was like, oh, you're mixed. And she was like, no, I just look mixed. And I don't remember the conversation fully. And I was like, oh, you look mixed. And she was like, no, yeah, I look mixed. It's just my French nose. Tell me why TikTok. Everyone on TikTok that was on that live stream went to her page, found her, and everyone was sending me what this woman looked like. And beautiful woman, by the way, beautiful. Let me just say that up front, and I'm gonna leave it there. I'm just gonna leave it there. When I saw the French nose, I was like, "Oh, period." And then she didn't just stop at her French nose. She was like, "Yeah, like." You have like nice lips and nice eyes, but like because your nose is big, and I was like, wait, what? Mind you, I didn't ask this girl nothing about me. I didn't ask. I ain't asked this girl nothing. I ain't asked this girl nothing about me. She went on to drag me for like a minute, and she was like, but for some weird reason, like you're cute with your big nose. But like people usually don't like big nose, they like skinny nose. And I was like, first of all, I ain't never been told I was ugly. So it's just never gonna give that. But it's my nose is I just have a French nose. It's like a French nose. What is a French nose? Keela gonna be mad at me because she told me to save the lives and I did not save them.
There are things that happen in Haiti because of what Bill Clinton.
Wait. Drop a 1 if you were in that live stream on TikTok like earlier this year. Drop a 1 if you were there.
Did when he was president and afterwards. There are things that happen in Jamaica that happen because of the British Crown. We all have our different cultural battles to fight, but we're all still Black. However, me saying that I have to take care of my 2 daughters does not mean that I don't care about every other Black woman on the face of the planet. They are my immediate responsibility as a foundational Black American. Sure. My immediate responsibility is to foundational Black Americans first, not saying foundational Black Americans first and F everybody else. I'm saying foundational Black Americans first because we're the ones that are bleeding and everybody has benefited from our blood, whether they choose to admit it or not. The 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment do not happen with us. Civil rights does not happen with us. These very loose, very fun immigration laws that folks are now playing and screwing all of us throughout the diaspora who are here in the Americas does not happen without foundational Black Americans. And so all of those things are extremely important to that conversation.
So what would be your definition? My fault. What would be your definition of culture? Frank gave his definition of culture. What is your definition of culture?
ultimate, he is correct. It just does not address the issue. It just does. Let's be clear. Dave has been more right in what he said than Phantom Follicles has been. Point blank, period. The issue is Dave is not addressing the foolishness that Phantom Follicles is saying.
My definition of culture is traditions, it's style, it's certain taboos, you know, and taboos don't have to be a big, huge thing. Bring raisins in a potato salad to a family reunion, watch what happens to you.
All right, so he does not know how to define culture either. Got it. So this is why we have a problem. This is why we have a problem, because nope, it's not a definition. It's not a good definition. It is not a good working definition. I agree that finally we do have a definition, but he does not fully engage with the definition. Because I don't know why we're talking about potato salads. Yes, food is a part of culture, but define culture in the context of this conversation that allows the convo to move forward. But I do agree that at least we have a way. It's Dave is smarter to me than Phantom Follicles, at least in this conversation, because I know none of these two people. But it's just very low frequency, low energy.
Right? Or if we're gonna talk about taboos that still happen but are still considered taboo, bring home a white girl, see what happens. You at bare minimum are getting talked about. Not saying that there's not an OJ, not saying that, you know,
You want to know something funny about that live? I think she was genuinely shocked that she was she thinks, I don't know. She said that she thought I was attractive, but she couldn't understand how I could be attractive when I have a big nose. And I'm sitting there trying to figure out why she's confused about that. She's probably here. Let me stop. She said she follows me on YouTube. I'm gonna leave that alone because I don't want it to seem like I'm roasting her, because I'm not at all. Let her and her French nose live her best life.
majority of professional athletes, entertainers, those types of people who get to a certain level don't still do that, but it's taboo. Curse while the pastor is talking during your sermon. Those are all taboos, right? Walking on the inside of the street as opposed to the outside of the street. I was raised, but again, my grandfather was born in, I think, 1890, and my grandmother was born in 1904. So my dad was born in 35. So I got a different worldview than a lot of people my age. But there's certain things you don't do. You don't hit a woman. There's certain things that aren't necessarily only unique to us, but there are certain things that over time we have built that make up our culture beyond just language. Spirituality was robbed from us. Language was robbed from us. And yes, even with that, with the example Frank gave, and I'll lay my plane on this. Yeah, when you go to school, they got to teach a certain way. Even when you go, I got a cousin that lives in Osaka, Japan, and she teaches English as a second language to Japanese businessmen because they want to come over here. You understand what I'm saying to you? But you have to have a baseline language. But the difference is you're choosing to go to school versus being forced, whipped, chained, bred like cattle, and had anything cultural taken from you. Even the ability to name your child wasn't up to you. My last name didn't come from the continent. My last name comes from the Anderson slave owners of South Carolina. I know exactly what plantation come from. Can't tell you the boat though.
I want to ask, so where did you get your definition of culture?
Well, my background is mass comm journalism. And if you do advanced mass comm journalism, of course, you're going to do multicultural understanding. And in the study of multicultural differences.
All right. So whatever class he took, he failed. Whatever he failed. And that's just that on that.
Understanding, of course, you study how languages were developed, what it meant for people, and so on and so forth. And it's the first thing that allows you to understand how to interact when you move from one place to go to another place. So through that, and then, of course, my column for 13 years was life and culture. I didn't report on politics, economics, or wars. I reported on life and culture. It allowed me to study, and I realized, how would I know? I began to compare it, to where I'm coming from. And I said, something went wrong. I would give me just a little bit to explain something. You know where my interest as a Black man became piqued after traveling the world? When I began to hear the slogans we create, the narratives we create, I was speaking in Kenya on a university campus. One young man got up and told me how I missed the point about why Kenya is the way it is, and blamed the white man who came to take their culture and stop them from speaking their local languages and gave us Christianity. Oh, he went down the laundry list of things that happened to them, and it's still happening. So I said, wow, you are a brilliant man. I've never met anyone who have made this list, but I have only one question. Why did it work? And that is what we refuse to ask ourselves. So we always say that.
I've been thinking about this for a couple of years now. Not what he's talking about. I think colonization and subsequent slavery, the specific kind of chattel slavery, requires a kind of brutality that I don't know that the human spirit was made for. I don't think it is a win. Sorry, I'm filtering something because I don't want to. I think that the kind of brutality to create and maintain the system is not something that we should ever uphold as good. And I know it's hard because I don't think we have another way to define success. Being born into the system means that this is how we define success. But I do think we have to appreciate, this is my worldview. Y'all don't have to do anything. This is my worldview. I think in a culture where the people did not have to survive or think about their survival in the same way because of the cold, because of the elements and lack of food, I think there is a way that we might have developed differently in terms of willingness to engage in brutality to take. Brutality was pretty much everywhere, right? But I do think there is a specific way that brutality emerges for survival for a group that did not have access to readily available resources. Oh, someone said the audio is messing up. Look at God. Maybe God is telling me something. Say, shut up. God is saying. Demon, someone said you and the man in white have the same hairstyle. Okay, I am the someone who. Wait, which man in white, girl? You play too much. Absolutely not. See, that man would tell you that his texture is like biracial. That man had biracial. The man said he's biracial, or texture can't be not texture, or hairstyle can't be the same because I have black hair. I have black hair, so black hair and white hair. Black hair and white and biracial hair not the same. Wait, someone says no sound. I rebuke that. Let me hear myself. Let's see. You're not the same. No, I can hear me. Wait, someone says no sound. I rebuke that. Let me hear myself. I can hear me loud and clear.
They did this to us. But we never ask ourselves, why did it work? See, I've been to the Caribbean. I've been to many cities in the United States. I've lived in the UK. I've seen blacks in the UK. I've seen black in China. I've seen blacks in almost every corner of the world. And I've seen blacks in America and on the continent. And everything we are describing is uniform about us. You really think that the largest number of people on earth in terms of countries, 54 in one continent, about 10 or 13 in the Caribbean, black groups in the UK, in China, in America. And we are all suffering that psychological warfare and responding to it for years. Nothing in the world, use any probability, has ever touched a coin and it fell on its head 9 times out of 10. Impossible. We need to re-examine us as black people. What is it? And it's nothing we are saying. Because if it is true, then there's something really wrong first with us. Let me tell you something. Korea, nobody it is today, It is the only country in the world, or in Asia, let me just be, that has never waged war. They call them Pakachon, inferior, by the Japanese, the Mongolians, Chinese. They were bullied and they were invaded, colonized, tortured for hundreds of years. Why didn't it work on them? The Jews went into slavery, the globe, 4,000 years in the diaspora. In Egypt, in Baghdad, which was formerly Babylon. When they were in Europe, what was the name the Aryan race through the Nazi organization said they were? Jews are inferior. It's what they said over and again to German kids. When they arrived in America, Sammy Davis had a joke. He said he was getting on the bus in Montgomery. The driver told him to get to the back of the bus. He said, no, you don't understand. I'm a Jew. He said, oh, get off the bus then. In 1977, a black man bought a home in Westport, Connecticut before a Jew. Jews were not allowed to rent or buy a home in Greenwich, in Westport, in Darien. There's a story Donald Trump had to build the first golf course when he became aware that Jews and blacks were not allowed to play in golf courses. Jews had it tough in this country through redlining, where they were not allowed to set up businesses, so they were forced to convert and start loaning to themselves from within. It didn't happen to them for 1,000 years, longer than we were in slave or colonization. So the question you need to ask is, if they did all these things against us, why did it work? Let me give you one thing to the response I said earlier, why African Americans didn't leave after slavery. Not because there was no place to go to. That is completely a lie. Ask yourself, the Ashantis knew that they were the most powerful tribe in Ghana, followed by the Airways, the Gans, the Chuis, Akwamus, everybody. They knew.
The South Korean argument is so weird to me because my question to him would be, okay, cool. The South Korea has never declared war officially. Cool, that's fine. When was South Korea founded? And why? Because just say why have it? Because like just saying it, like it feels like I am not a buff when it comes to sort of geopolitics. Generally, I know enough to like not be ignorant, but like it feels like he doesn't know anything, and I'm not sure if that's the case.
That they didn't form the country Ghana, that they were forced, okay? But it came to an end. For Ghana, 1957. Why didn't they go back to become the individual tribes they were? Was anybody there telling them you can't? No. Do you know why they stayed as a country?
What?
They were attracted by the bling the colonial left behind. The roads, the hospitals, the schools, the post office, the fire, the department, the buses with air conditioning from London imported to their country, the railway lines, all the beautiful things. Why didn't you live here? It's not because you...
Mind you, has Jamaica declared war? Wait, let me... I don't... Period. Jamaica's never declared. I don't know why. Why would you ever have Jamaica ever declared war? Absolutely not. There we go. So I don't know what point he was trying to make now. That he again just really annoying.
Don't know where to go. It's because you didn't hate the white man and you weren't afraid of him.
I think you're eliminating the fact that we built blood, sweat, tears, deaths, so much. We are the biggest innovators. We built America. Why give up everything we built? America wouldn't exist off the pains and struggles of Black Americans. You don't just give that up. We also, with asking your question.
This just sounds so dumb to me. Why would you ever sit up there and justify why you as an American not leaving America? Go get out of my face. Honestly, this is one of the moments where they'd be like, get out of my face. That's none of your business. Why don't you? Nah, it would have gotten real bad then. It would have gotten real bad. If I were an African American and he said this to me, he getting dragged. Point blank period. It's what it is.
Can we do also ask, why didn't Africans or other Caribbean people or other nations join us and make us a bigger nation in America? We built it. Everything came off our death. And every time we created something big,
Like where?
Yeah, this is a good point too. Like, also, like, you keep talking about why didn't you leave? Why didn't you leave? Why are you here? Not really, but like really. Cause like you gonna stop coming for me immediately.
What are you talking about?
Oh,
No,
wait,
give
wait,
me
wait. I got this one. Don't worry. Wilmington, North Carolina, Eatonville, Rosewood, Tulsa, Philadelphia, Chester, Pennsylvania, Wilmington, North Carolina,
Black Wall
Beaufort, South
Street in
Carolina.
Jersey?
Yeah, you know, there were plenty of places. Anytime we had any infrastructure, two things happened. They decided to integrate it. Look at have you been to Central Park?
Mhm.
You know what Central Park is, right?
It's a park.
No, it's not. Central Park was actually a place called Seneca Village. It was when
That is such a dumb question. Do you know what Central Park is? It's a park. No, it's not. What? I know the question he was asking, but it was such a terrible way to ask that question. Like, what was there before it became a park? Is essentially the question. Like, the man not wrong. You said, do you know what Central Park is? It's a park. The delivery was terrible. It was terrible. Because it was supposed to be a cute gotcha moment that I would have lived for, but like you messed it up.
freed black people decided to converge in one area, and they decided to redistrict that area, even though they owned the land and the houses that they built free and clear, and they destroyed those people, displaced those people, and built a park around it. There's an old song Joni Mitchell said, "Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone." They paved paradise and put up a parking lot. They paved paradise and put up Seneca Village. In Georgia, just outside of Atlanta, there's a place called Lake Lanier. It used to be a thriving black town. They decided to kill the black folks, get rid of the ones they couldn't kill, and then people right now are boating on it every weekend. That's what happened to us. That's what got destroyed. And it doesn't mean that we don't keep building, but after a while, even if you look at the flea experiment, you familiar with the flea experiment?
The what?
The flea experiment.
No.
So the flea experiment goes like this. You take a bunch of fleas, you put them in a jar, you put
All right. Y'all won. Let's go. Let's just absolutely not. Because I'm trying to hold on, but either I'm hungry, which I am. Oh, I need my protein bar. That's why I'm so hungry. Can you guys excuse me if I get a protein bar and eat it? I need protein. Drop a 1 if I can eat my protein bar, and drop a 2 if I can go get my protein bar to eat. So drop a 1 if I can eat my protein bar live, or drop a 2 if I can go get my protein bar and eat it live. My kitchen is like right next to it. You don't need it. All right. I'm going to try to show. Lolo. Jesse Whoop.
Shit you never saw before. These niggas chasing me like waterfalls. Been on my little truck, feel like breakfast. This is for the members, strictly for the members. This is for the members, strictly for the members. What's up, members? What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for coming back to my Chanel. It's your sister, Jessie Woo. If you're new here, please make sure that you subscribe, so you can join the Black Women's Tribe during Black Women's Shalace Not in 5 Black Women's Month. What the hell is going on? What the hell is going on in here? we have a lot of updates. So let's jump right on in. Not out, but in. Also, while I was getting this in gear, I saw some of the comments going a little left, and I was like, this is for the members. Strictly for the members. This is for the members. Strictly for the members. Y'all just know how we get down. I feel like we have our own language that we speak. We have a good time, and that's what I want this live to be, a good time. But also, I do want to have some real discussions about what's going on. Y'all see the title. What's up, man?
It's oatmeal chocolate chip flavored. 20 grams of protein, which is good. That tastes like chalk. that that tastes like chalk, girl. Absolutely. Ew.
Y'all see the title, okay? And we're just gonna jump right on in. Let me go ahead and pull this up. I was literally running around wigless, had to put my wig on. Mind you, I had to put my wig on, and I'm also catching up on the whole head football coach at the state of Michigan. Have y'all seen what's going on with the guy, Sharon Moore? So that's gonna be our next TikToks. Period. That's gonna be on our next true crime episode, child. My goodness, what's going on? That story is insane. But I was running around wigless, had just left Orange Theory. I'm on the phone with Sundar, my friend. I'm like, girl, what the is going on? I see my niece and nephew done broke up, child. So let me go ahead and pull this up so we can watch it for ourselves. Hold on. Okay. All right, is this it? Is this not it? Okay, this is it. Is this not it? Not this expression. Oh, okay, so they're showing pictures of, hold on. Did they take it down? I know they didn't take it down. Okay. I feel like for a minute, they weren't getting good.
Yeah.
He's doing good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing good.
Oh,
So.
and are you guys like, are the talks of like, because are we, when they're moving in together?
Not
Not
quite.
quite, okay,
No,
okay.
We have
not
a ways to
quite.
go.
We have a ways to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
No moving in together. Yeah, there's actually a lot just happening and stuff. So,
Oh, are things okay?
well,
Are we okay?
Are we moving? Okay.
Are we moving on?
So Ace and I actually decided to part ways.
Wait,
Yes.
oh my God, did you
what?
announce that?
No.
Oh my God,
Oh,
Shelly, I'm
yeah.
sorry.
No, don't. It's okay.
Sorry.
Please don't. Like, it's
how are
okay.
you feeling?
I mean, it really was a tough decision, like
Yeah.
for the both of us, and very hard to decide. But you know, when you love someone, sometimes loving someone means letting go. So I think we just got to that decision.
And
Okay.
also
that
getting
was
to a
best.
point where because you both have love for each other, to end it
Exactly.
before that ends. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it came from like a mutual level of respect.
a mutual level of respect and understanding that, you know, we wanted this to work, but sometimes things don't work. Couples go through things that are very challenging.
Yeah.
And sometimes the best thing to do is just, you know, make a decision that needs to be made.
And
So
Right.
I have to imagine too,
Oh.
it must have been hard for you guys to come to this conclusion when there's a lot of eyes on you and a lot of people like being like, we love you guys
Absolutely.
together. blah, blah, blah," And you're like, okay, but we're going.
Oh, for real. I prefer listening to black women online than these men just stop blabbering about nothing. Like for real. But at least there's something to engage with on here.
Going through like we're trying
Yeah.
to be ourselves and the best that we can be.
Exactly.
How like were the conversations you both had with that?
You know, we had a
'Cause-
lot of
yeah.
conversation, you know, and at the end of the day, it was just like a mutual agreement of like,
Yeah.
you know what, this is for the best. And
Right.
I've definitely thought about like, you know, our supporters, our fans and stuff, but
Right.
I'll trust that they'll understand that, you know, this decision needed to be made if we were able to come
Yeah.
to this mutual
Yeah.
decision.
Right.
So
And like obviously you want to keep some things private and to yourself.
Absolutely,
But
yeah.
for the fans who are hoping for a definitive answer of like why did they break up? Like what would you say? Like what's kind of like the main reason?
listen, a lot happens in relationships,
Okay.
and you know, I just feel like people can out of respect for the both of us. Like the details aren't really
Yeah,
necessary,
right.
you know. Like I think we can be peaceful and just understand that, you know, we're good with being able to be on the same page.
And that's like such an interesting thing, like you were mentioning, Danny, just like knowing that so many people ship
Yeah.
the two of you and we're supporting you guys. Do you think that extended the relationship longer than it might have lasted because you kind of like felt in a way that you owed it to the fans to kind of like stick together?
No, because like our relationship from the very beginning was an understanding of like our relationship isn't for the press, for the media or
Yeah.
anything. Like it's because I truly love you and you truly love me.
Mhm.
But you know, challenges happens
Yeah.
in relationships, and sometimes, like I said, like you want to just be able to say, you know what, let's leave it right here
Yeah.
before it turns into something never needs to be. Like we can leave off on light and love,
Right.
Yeah, and also that's what I kind of, and especially what you were talking about, how much stuff you're planning for 2026,
Yeah.
to have to to try to fix something that doesn't need to be fixed because it could just be where it is,
Yeah.
could slow you both down for that.
Absolutely.
And also, I totally understand why you're like, yeah, I don't think I want to go on a reality show to unpack all of this.
Yeah.
And I mean,
yeah.
I just want to be able,
Basically,
I just want to be able to, 'cause
Yes.
honestly, this whole process is going to come with a lot of healing, a lot of growth, and a lot of just time with myself, so I just would love that privacy and be able to just, focus on myself going forward.
And I feel like and to focus on yourself, and then when you feel ready, you can be in a different place, and you might even want different things in a future relationship. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like it's all about, I think we're put on this earth to experience people. So who knows how long that experience could last? Like sometimes we want it to last a lifetime, and sometimes it's just it's for that moment in time, So it's very grateful nonetheless. And at the end of the day, I wish Ace the best.
Yeah.
And for myself, I'm like, okay, I just have to focus, healing, growth.
You're like, I wish the best for myself.
What's next? Yeah, I truly do, So that's where I'm at.
I'm having a vision for single Shelly right now. Tell me if you're aligning with this vision. So you're single, you're doing your thing, you accomplished so much at the start of 2026.
Yes.
You're acting, you're doing the music correspondence stuff, you're making all your dreams come true.
Dinner plans with Tiana Taylor.
But then there's an opportunity to go back to Fiji as a bombshell. Single Shelly re-enters the villa. Would we do the show again or no? Oh, you're good.
You see my face.
I see the face. It's saying no.
Because you guys listening, you couldn't see your face. The face walked up.
So you would not entertain the idea of being a bombshell or returning to the villa in that sense?
No, I don't know about that. Maybe if they want me to guest host or something, I would love that.
But we're into that, yes.
Yes, but as far as
Being
searching
a
for love there
contestant,
and being a contestant, I think I had my fair share.
Okay.
What do y'all think? What do y'all think? First thing first, this just caught me by surprise for several reasons. Because number one, when I looked at the video, I mean, I follow Shelly, and I was like, wait a minute, this is from yesterday. This is her yesterday. So this is the same outfit. And then, so I'm like, okay, so this must have just happened. Because even before then, her and Ace had just did something with Billboard. This was posted 3 days ago. This is from 3 days ago. This is her and Ace doing something with Billboard. So I'm like, what happened? Shelly is so gorgeous. My God. This is them just 2 days ago. So I'm like, what the hell happened? Like, what happened within the last couple days? So yeah, here's the thing, right? I don't think that this is great news. I feel like if you watch my reviews from Love Island,
this is great news. Unless she's sad, unless Shelly's sad, this is great news. If Shelly's sad, then it's not great news. But if Shelly's happy, best news.
I shipped Ace and Shelly. I was not always a fan of how Ace behaved on the show. That is something I always said. I felt like Ace behaved like he was on Traitors or Survivor or Big Brother instead of just being on the show. And I did feel that would come off bad at times. But I just never understood the hate that Shelly got because she was with Ace. I never understood that.
You understood it. You just didn't agree with it. And I don't think Shelly got hate. I think Shelly did get hate. But I think people, when it comes to Ace and Shelly, were upset with Shelly when her man went out there and disrespect someone she called her soul sister. And you're not about to convince me that's the wrong position to have. I started side-eyeing Shelly too. What do you mean? Oh, yes, I did. Sure did. If that is your soul sister, you're not about to sit up there and let your man disrespect her and her relationship and stop her bag. In particular, stop her bag. You're not about to do that.
And even post Villa, they looked good. Everybody was happy. Everybody was like, damn, they should have at least made finalists. And then everything took a turn once Ace said what he said about Nicolandra. And before I get to that, let me say this. I think that Ace and Shelly make a beautiful couple. I think that what they had was very genuine. I really do. I feel like they went into the villa. They had met before. They ended up in the villa. And a lot of people feel like they scammed everyone. But when you listen to all the post-villa
interviews, most of them, like literally half of them that were in the villa already knew each other before the villa. So it just seemed as if casting was just looking to see who was connected with who to put them in the villa to make a messier situation, in my opinion. And they did come up with really good television for this season. I mean, look at the numbers. Thank you so much for super chat. I was down to Orange Theory this morning too. Yes, child. Orange Theory kicked my butt. Thank you so much for super chat. He was ruining her brand. He was immature. I'm gonna get to that in a minute, but
I'm gonna get to it now. Yes, he ruined her brand. He's immature. Yes, Shelly, unfortunately, got lumped in with Ace, who has a big ego, who could not take second seat to Nick and Olandria. And because Shelly didn't speak up and it was her man that this was, yes, he ruined her brand. And it was because he was a child and his ego took control. Yes.
I'm going to say, I feel that they made a beautiful couple. I feel like what they had was genuine. I feel like, again, people felt like they scammed, but most of the people who were in the villa knew each other. These are things that most of them have said in post interviews. I do think that several things are at play here. First of all, I like the way Shelly, she's such a gracious person. I think she's very gracious, and she knows how to steer clear of just statements that are going to be inflammatory. Take notes, Ace, love you, but take notes. She just...
Okay, I didn't see this. So her and Ace are friends. When you go, Ace love you. Okay, so this is why she's protecting her friend. I've always known that she was biased towards Ace. I said this in the beginning. I didn't see, like, I was skipping around because I was late to come on here, so I was skipping around. Okay, I love you, Ace. Or maybe it's like, no, that feels very direct. Yeah, it's her friend. That's why she's defending him. Zero one of my friends will have me out here looking a mess. So I'm not about to defend no foolishness, particularly something like this. So it's like, yeah, you were wrong. You were wrong. There is no and or but. One of the things that I do not like is when you try to quote unquote pretend like you're holding someone accountable, which she does somewhere in this video, but then she has to equate that person to someone you love. So like they don't want that person to stand in the accountability, the public accountability by themselves. So they drag someone they think you love into the discussion to lessen the blow on the person that is supposed to be held accountable. She does this a lot when it comes to Ace.
Knows how to answer questions very, very well and steer clear of things. She doesn't become too chatty, and I really like that about her. I think multiple things are at play here. Yes, she's very gracious, very mindful, very eloquent. Yes, she's all those things. Even when she did the Keke Palmer podcast with Olandria, and Olandria kept telling her to, hey, you go ahead and answer that. Shelly knows how to answer things and make it less like, lessen the blow. But I do feel several things are at play. Okay. Number one, I believe Shelly is 5 years older than Ace. I think she's either 5 or 6 years older. So I think there's a maturity factor there. Even though I think Ace is cool, I think Ace is funny. Maybe he's, a great person to be with in a relationship with. I think he goes out of his way to show, big gestures, which is always.
See, even her, like she's unable to just say he's like immature. Like she can't do it. She's like having to couch. I guess if it's your friend, whatever, but she has to couch her critique in so much fluff and care for him. I mean, I guess, would I want my friend? If publicly, I guess it would, like, if you were talking to me, I would want you to say it directly, but it just feels so weird to like couch your critique of him this way. But like, I mean, it's fine. Again, her friend, so.
Always nice, but I think that big gestures sometimes cannot disguise underlying issues. So maybe there's a maturity issue there, right? She's older, she's a couple years older, and as a woman, when you're a couple years older than a man, you might as well be a decade older. Okay? Ace is 22 years old. And that's something I've always said every time people like go so nuts about him. He's 22. Yes, he comes off mature,
but he's 22 years old. Like I think he was the youngest person in the villa. He was very young, still very, very young. So the things we expect from Shelly and other folks, you're not going to get from Ace. He's young. So there's a maturity thing there. Okay. And then he's a man. So he's 23. He's really like 15. And he probably wouldn't want to hear that. But
Hey, Jessica, he's 23, which means he's 15. This is, by the way, how men, particularly black men, get infantilized a lot of the time. This is how black men get She does not. Let's be very clear. Do not drag her or attack her in the chat. Culturally, this is actually what we do. We adultify black girls and we infantilize black men. That's generally how we do it. That is generally how we do it. The infantilization of men is very strange. Yes, 23 is young, and we should treat it as such, but you don't have to go the extra mile to say he's 23. It's like he's 15 or where they do that at? Absolutely not. You're 23, you're 23. You're 23, you're 23. It's like you're 15, girl. No. I get why she does it. This is what the culture does. So, like, it's not even, like, we can't even get mad at her for doing it.
it's true. Okay. Yes, he's lived a lot of life and all that, but he's still very, very young. Very, very young guy. And so I think there may have been a maturity thing there. Also, I think a lot of people are forgetting that Ace was not necessarily Shelly's preference. If you go back to the villa and you hear what Shelly said about Chris, right? Even though Chris was corny.
So you believe they were in love, but he wasn't the preference. I don't understand why you would bring this up. Because, like, for me, I would bring this up. I would be like, girl, that girl ain't want that man, whatever. But, like, that's because in my head, all the relationship that came out of Love Island, from my perspective, is fake. Every last one of them. There is zero of them that the difference is, and she'll say this at some point later, I don't care. They're brands, that's the game, and it is what it is. It's for publicity and money. I'm here for it. All of them fake. But when you say you believe their relationship and they were in love and all of that, then to say Ace wasn't her preference, that's weird. But then to say, oh, but it doesn't matter because you can grow to love people and you believe they grew to love each other, why would you then say it wasn't her preference? Like, I don't, anyway, girl, period. It's your commentary.
Corn. He still, did he ever make it out overseas? We're gonna get to Chris in a minute. But remember what she said. Had Chris been there earlier, it might have been Chris. Thank you so much for the super chat. They made a lovely couple. They were under a lot of pressure, and I hope the crazy Love Island fans don't pile on them. Oh, girl, you know they piling on them. Thank you so much for the super chat. You know they piling on, and especially they're gonna pile on Shelly. We're gonna get to that in a minute. Just to pile on Shelly. Whew. But remember, Ace was not her preference. I watched the show. I pay attention. Ace was not her preference. Remember what she said when it came down to Chris. That let me know that physically, Chris was more her preference, not Ace. That doesn't mean that you can't fall in love with someone that's not necessarily your preference. Obviously, they fell in love. They like.
Then why would you bring up that it wasn't her? Like, if they fell in love, what did him not being her preference have to do with any of this? Are you saying because they weren't? Is the implication because he wasn't her preference that somehow led to their breakup now? Like, I don't understand why. Like, I don't understand why she would bring up that they weren't, like, yeah, without citing it as a reason for the breakup. Saying it doesn't make sense. So are you blaming Shelly not liking Ace? Like, but they fell in love. Period.
Each other and everything went great, but that still doesn't mean that
he was necessarily her preference. Okay. Just keeping that in mind. Also, lastly but surely, are we forgetting that Shelly like girls?
Sorry, I didn't hear this either. Shelly is bisexual, yes. What this got to do with the breakup? Maybe Jesse will probably just joking around at this point. Maybe she's just joking around at that.
Are we forgetting that my sister like boo boo? My sister like women. Women. She likes women. Did we forget when she got the chance to kiss? What's her name? The girl. Okay. I know. Come on now. Are we forgetting? Are we forgetting? She like women. Women. I would not be surprised if in 2026 I see Shelly and Ty Young hand in hand. What's the other stud? There's a new studsman in town. Portia got her. But right now the studsmen's are killing the game right now. Okay, wouldn't be surprised. She likes both. Yeah, she likes both. But still, I don't know. I just feel like my sister like boo boon. You let me boo boon. She like boo boon. Sierra, yes. When she had turned down Sierra. Y'all remember when she? Are we forgetting my sister like boo boon? For those of y'all who ain't Haitian, boo boon mean boo boon. Boo boon. She like a boo boon. Boo boon. Okay. So I don't know. My sister probably wanna ride off into the sunset with some boo boon. We don't know. And last but not least, let's just keep.
I don't know if she understands the implication here. Shelly likes girls. Shelly was not attracted to Ace. There is a breakup. She's discussing this breakup. Is it Shelly? I don't think she's actually doing this because I think she would defend Shelly. I actually think she likes Shelly. I don't know if she likes Shelly more than Ace, but I think she likes Shelly. But like, we don't know what caused the breakup. But if you're watching this, you come away from it thinking Shelly was the problem, or not even the problem, that Shelly liked girls and was not into Ace. And so Shelly left Ace because she was bisexual and she's not into Ace. Like that, I don't know that she's intentionally creating this narrative, but that's the narrative she's creating. I don't know that it's intentional. I think she is like talking and then started joking about Shelly liking women and Shelly not being into Ace. And I don't think she understands that in the context of a breakup, these are justification or at least explanation for a breakup, even if you don't mean them to be. Like, you randomly telling us that Shelly did not like Ace in the beginning, or it wasn't her preference, and then saying, y'all forget she likes women. That's not separate from the commentary you're doing about the breakup. Like, it's not oh, I didn't even see the women part.
Keep it a buck about what the Love Island fandom has probably done to Shelly's mental health. Can we talk about that? Thank you so much for your super chat. Did you see Ray J pointed a pium 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 at his wife on Twitch on Thanksgiving, wondering if you'll discuss? Girl, we've been discussed that. How you doing? Thank you for super chat. Girl, we've been discussed that, girl. But can we talk about what the Love Island fandom has done to Shelly's mental health? The way folks couldn't wait for something to pile on Shelly. Shelly, while she was on the show, this is something that Ace even said. Ace said how the way the show was edited, it did not reflect the fact that Shelly cussed him out for days after the whole Hood Rat situation. He said, if you watch the show, you don't see me smile in the villa for a couple days. She was at my neck. They never showed that. They wanted to make her look like she was so male-centered when the men were centering her. Let's not forget when Shelly.
That's not true. Shelly was not male-centered in that show. There is zero way that edit could have been done to make Shelly look male-centered. Shelly did not look male-centered. If anything, Elijah was Taylor-centered. Because Alondra was obsessed with Taylor for zero reason. I could not. I almost fell off the Alondra bandwagon doing the show because I just could not get why Alondra was so obsessed with Taylor after Taylor kept disrespecting her. Shelly was playing these men like fiddles. To say Shelly was male centered is wild when Shelly was just like that girl in the villa. Shelly was that girl in the villa. It was Shelly's season. During the show, Shelly had that villa on lock. It was between Shelly and Sierra. Those two women had that villa on lock. None of the other girls could catch a break.
Who walked in the villa. Every man was at her feet. Every man wanted her. She never had to compete. Miss 2 to 3 Pancakes never had to compete with anybody. Every time a man came into the villa, who they want? It was Shelly. Never had to compete.
Yeah, but so the video did make her male centered. She was that girl, period. Like, she was that girl. She was my favorite too. She was that girl.
She was the prize. And I think that pissed off a lot of people. I think that when it came to the Hood Rat fans who are racist, but also other racist people, it just pissed them off seeing a dark-skinned Black woman come in, and she's not a caricature. She's eloquent. She's well, let me not say well-spoken because I feel like that's like microaggressive, but she's eloquent in her speech.
To say she's eloquent, but not want to say she's well-spoken, because well-spoken would be microaggression as well. I think that's funny.
She knows how to be, what's the word I'm looking for? She just knew how to appease without sacrificing herself. A lot of people didn't like that. Remember, while Shelly was in the villa too, she got a knuckle sandwich. From BuzzFeed. Several articles about her being a mean girl and all these different things. And then she comes out the villa. And I was thinking about this just the other day. I was talking to a homegirl of mine, and we were talking about this because the other day, just randomly, now when I'm not on TikToks like that, but I do go on to find my next TikTok story, which is why I'm going to be talking about the Michigan coach. But don't know how this ended up on my timeline, but there were girls dragging Shelly for her Shea Moisture. She did a Shea Moisture ad recently, and the girlies were dragging her. Mind you, she used her natural hair. Like, she did this, like, her hair looked nice. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And I was talking to, oh, you missed me. I do not miss Threads. Thank you so much. I do not miss Threads at all. But I saw people piling up on her, and I was telling my homegirl, I said, you know what it is about Shelly? It's that.
We will. I'm gathering my information because I was trying to figure out why he was arrested, but the news came out that he allegedly went to the woman's house that he was cheating on his white wife with and tried to unalive her after the was it unalive or try to get, anyway, get her to have an abortion, I think it was, maybe. No, it was to unalive her. One report said to unalive her. One report did say to unalive her. So I'm trying to sift through, and I might make a video about it. For Friday, and then do a Diddy part 2 and 3 for Friday, because I'm going to be in Jamaica, I think. Maybe. Who knows? Girl, yeah, he was cheating on his white wife. What do you mean? He was cheating?
The people who hate on Shelly, they don't like that they didn't see Shelly suffer. Like, Shelly didn't suffer enough for y'all. Because we love a good old Black woman struggle story. And that's like, I don't understand that, because Black women are not a monolith. We all don't have to suffer for love. Like, we all don't have to suffer. But for some reason, there is a group of y'all who hate the fact that you didn't see Shelly suffer.
I don't think you would want to go. I'm not going for, like, obviously, if I go, I'm trying to think about it now, but if I go, it wouldn't just be like to have fun. The hurricane, you most likely would not want to come.
You didn't see her suffer. She got to wake up every day and just the men were at her feet. And y'all hated that. Y'all.
I do believe a strong group of people dislike the fact that Shelly was the main girl. I think a lot of people dislike the fact that that the people that y'all thought, not you all, but they thought was going to be the people that they thought were going to be major and have all the men's running amok or whatever. I think Shelly upset the system. Let's say that. I think Shelly got the girls shook. And I do feel sad that I do think there are some Black people who are like hating on her for quote unquote having it too easy. Like I actually I agree with Jessie here, like fully. Like the vibe she's talking about, I don't need receipt for because I felt it at the time.
All hated that. And I really just don't understand. Well, let me not say I don't understand it. I feel like it's jealousy, you know, as someone who has not experienced that. I've never been the girl who I walked into a building and all the men were at my feet. But I've always been excited to see other women experience it, especially a Black woman. A Black woman doesn't have to suffer for love for me to support her. It's just my personal opinion. And I feel like a lot of y'all watching the show, y'all did not like not seeing Shelly suffer. She didn't suffer enough for y'all. She wasn't a victim enough for y'all. And I just really don't understand that. Thank you so much for Super Chat. Sad to see genuine love not last, but I fully support folks doing what they need to do for their well-being. Absolutely. Thank you so much. It's like y'all did, yeah, it was Black folks, absolutely. It was Black women. The xenophobia that jumped out. The Haitians this, Haitians that jumped out. It just was like, what is this, honey? Like, where is this coming from? Y'all didn't see Shelly suffer enough. You didn't see it. Even when her and Ace got out the villa, I saw so many people making fun of them going on their trips. Or
CJ, CB 5535. I gotta agree. I gotta agree, but like I'm trying to, because I was skipping through, but I thought it was coming together somewhere. So I'm gonna wait for it.
Him asking her to be his girlfriend. Oh, look at what he doing all that for. It's like y'all hated it. Why? Oh, look at all this PR stuff. I look online and I see the girlies doing the hotel video with the balloons and the roses all the time. I see y'all hoes doing the balloons in the air, the roses on the bed, the champagne by the bed. I see y'all do that all the time. Why Shelly couldn't get it? Why Shelly couldn't get that? I thought we like seeing Black women be loved out loud. It was weird. Thank you so much, Lauren. You and Shelly are the Haitian bombshells. Thank you. No, Shelly is the Haitian bombshell.
I agree, Princess. It felt like, because to say racism, she would have to also talk about Alandria. And I don't know, like, because it didn't, like, I don't want to diminish her experience, but like, I felt like racism was the animating force behind the hatred for Alandria and Shelly, particularly around Huda. Yes, there were some issues between Shelly and Alandria fans after what Ace did, a lot of issues. But I feel like the animating hatred, because even for me, like I was like, okay, well, I can't support Ace because absolutely not. Love Shelly down, still did at the time, but I was like, I'm not subscribing to nothing. I'm not buying nothing they're selling. I don't care nothing about none of that. But I'm gonna go look at Alandria and Nick because they're also giving what needs to be gave. So like, yeah, I picked the side, unfortunately, and no, it wasn't Nick's side, it was Alandria, because Alandria or Nick did not attack Shelly. And I think that Ace, as a Black man who pretended to be their friends, should have cared a lot more about Alandria. And your soul sister, Olandria, should have cared about you. It is just that simple. So it is what it is. But I do find it odd that xenophobia is the thing that is most pressing to Jesse, as opposed to like the racism. Like, as opposed to the racism, when people calling in the N-word and doing all kinds of caricatures and drawing all kinds of mess and posting it, it's weird to be, because I feel like she wants to drag Black people around xenophobia instead of addressing the larger racism that was going on. But I don't know, that's just the vibe I get. Like, it felt like it felt like a condescending and sneaky attack on Olandria fans. That's what it feels like. But as an Olandria fan, it doesn't bother me. It's just a very strange thing to do when racism is just glaring. Like the way people have been racist towards these two girls, it's like glaring. So it's weird to just be calling out xenophobia, not racism, but it is what it is.
Xenophobia and diaspora wars lets me know people have deep potential, I'm so sorry, and disjointed thinking. Thank you. It's deep. It's deep. The way when Ace said what he said, and let's talk about the whole brand of it all, right? Because one thing about it, I said this then, I'll say it now. Ace didn't need to go and say what he said on that interview with Speedy. He didn't need to say that. Could have kept that in the group chat, could have kept that.
This is it. I am a fan of Olandria. I'm also a fan of Shelly, but I'm not about to support Shelly with Ace. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
That in his, he could have kept that up there. But two things. I'll never understand how that turned into vitriol towards Shelly. And even with Ace, I still didn't get it, because it's like he made it clear that his assumption was from back when they were in the villa. He always said that he made that very clear, that he didn't spend much time with them outside of it. So he was talking as if they were still in the villa. People missed that. But also, I didn't understand how things turned vitriolic towards Shelly when Ace said that, but things didn't turn vitriolic when Nick went on the Keke Palmer podcast and said, yes, Huda was bullied. I think she was bullied.
You want to know why? Someone said this, I didn't see the clip, and I was about to drag Nick, because I've been looking for a reason. I've been looking for a reason to drag Nick. The problem is you can't drag Nick for what was said on the Keke Palmer podcast, because Nick came out, clarified, and dragged Huda. And when I didn't hear what Nick said, I did not hear what Nick. You know what? Let me look it up. Let me look what. If I can't find it quickly though. But Nick came out and said, "Nope, that's not what I meant." He said I understood I was trying to understand what she was saying, but to the extent I'ma still drag her. And Nick went on to drag Huda, tell Huda she wrong, she dead wrong, this is racism. So like, it is one thing to say, oh, Nick didn't do this, or Nick didn't do that, or Nick did something wrong, but to not ignore the fact that he came out and clarified and explained and then corrected his wrong is kind of wild. And this is from someone who don't trust Nick. But this is from someone who's just been itching to drag Nick. Like, I just find him to be so immature and annoying. Nick on Huda being bullied. Yeah, I can't even find it. All right, if one of y'all find that video, please send it to me where Nick said it.
No, but at some point I do think it was definitely divided between the girls and Huda, and I don't know if it's called bullying.
No, that's not what he said. There's music behind it, so I can't play it, but we can put it in here. That is wild. That's actually not what he said at all. That's insane. He said verbatim, at some time during the house, it was divided. But I don't think I would call that bullying. Those are his words verbatim. Actually, I might members live this thing. It might be members live, but so I'm gonna play it.
No, but at some point I do think it was definitely divided between the girls and Huda, and I don't know if it's called bullying, but there were reasons for that, and maybe the girls were grouping up together on her. I don't support that. I told even Sierra, like, just relax on her. She's still a girl at the end of the day. She has emotions.
So yeah, he didn't say they were bullying her, but he did say they were separated, and he doesn't know why, but he said, hey, she's crying, she's a girl, whatever, right? Fine. He came out and dragged Huda after this, right? Because Huda came out and said they were bullying her, and then he could, whatever, right? Actually, I understand why Jesse reduced this to saying he said it was bullying. So I'm just going to go ahead and agree with Jesse that Nick said, I've been wanting to drag Nick. Based on this, I agree with Jesse that this is him confirming, though not fully committing, to the fact that Huda was excluded, right? And some people can see that as bullying. And so Nick did wrong. The problem with dragging Nick is that Nick came out and dragged Huda. So I don't like that he added flame to this Dusty Fire too. So got it. I get why Jesse said it. Listening to the full clip, I get it. Yeah, but it's weird because Nick has been calling out Huda's behavior now. And this is not a defense of Nick, but I do know that it's hard to unlearn that there are certain women who weaponize their tears in order to not take accountability for their action. And the reason they weaponize tears to not take accountability for their action is because a lot of men in particular are unaware of what these tears are doing. It is not real, it is to manipulate, right? So a lot of people just fall for tears. Not to excuse it, because I do understand now why Jesse is saying, because I've never heard that tape. All I know is Nick was like, no, I don't agree. They didn't bully her and she's dead wrong. And he went on to drag her. So that's what Nick did. And if Ace had come out and did something like that, then I would have been fully on board. But the difference between Ace and Nick is Ace was intentionally trying to remove the footing from under Olandria. And that's wild for someone that you claim to care about. Even if their relationship is fake, all y'all relationship is fake. Again, drag Nick all you want.
When Nick said what he said, he put both Shelly and Olandria in danger. But there was no vitriol for Nick. Nick was also still hanging out with Taylor. There was no vitriol for Nick. So for me, it's like I'm seeing several people make weird ass decisions, but there was only one person who had to face vitriol. And I'm not saying that he's right for what he said, but I'm just saying, like, why was it just Ace?
You know what's so weird? I wish Jesse had made a video specifically addressing Nick. Because it felt like Jesse brought this up only to soften the blow against Ace. Like, so it feels like you didn't care about what Nick said, or if you did, like, just drag Nick. Like, drag Nick so I can co-sign the drag. Drag Nick so I can co-sign the drag. But, like, it feels like you only brought him up to, like, shield Ace. Like, you running cover for Ace is wild, because Ace is dead wrong. And they can both be wrong. I can drag both of them. Let's drag both of them. But don't do it this way.
Ace wasn't the only one having missteps, but I digress. Then let's get to him ruining.
Ace was not a misstep. Ace was not a misstep. Ace was trying to diminish their relationship so that his and Shelly could reign supreme. These are two fundamentally different things. Ace was trying to undercut Olandria and Nick. Nick was trying to pretend to empathize with Huda, or even if he's not pretending to empathize with Huda, don't know why anyone would do that, so he should be dragged for that, period. Because by doing that, yes, he threw the girls under the bus. Particularly Sierra, particularly Sierra. He talked about going to Sierra specifically. So if anyone, he was dragging Sierra. I don't know why. I don't know why Nick don't like Sierra anymore when they were really in love or something. But he really went for Sierra.
Ruining her brand. I'll say this, right? You have to be very careful who you link yourself to as a woman, especially a Black woman. When you're a Black woman, you really have to be.
Princess, I'm gonna block you. I'm gonna block you, and that's just that on that. I'm gonna block you.
Even 10 times more meticulous when it comes to who you link yourself to romantically, right? Number one, you don't ever want to be in a relationship with someone who fuck your brand. You don't want to be with someone who's not good for you, not good for your mental health, not good for your finances, not good for, you know, like you don't want to be with someone who's that way, right? But also you don't want to be with someone who's fucking up the money. So yes, I can see how Ace saying what he said didn't look good, but I still don't understand what Shelly had to do with that. Going back to what Ace said on the Speedy interview, Ace said something again. Remember, Ace said they didn't show how Shelly was at his neck for days in that villa. And I go back to that when I think about what Ace said on the Speedy interview about Nick and Alandria. You don't think that Shelly was at that man's neck? It's not Shelly's responsibility to go out here and say, oh, Ace was wrong. No, that is for Ace to go fix that.
Well, if I'm Alandria, yes, it would definitely be Shelly's responsibility. What do you mean? Both of y'all not gonna sit up there and hurt my brand. Absolutely not. It is her responsibility. If you're going to continue to be with a man, if you are my friend and you're going to continue to be with a man that disrespect me and my relationship, it's going to be a chop. It's going to be a chop. I'm going to look at you sideways.
But I believe wholeheartedly.
Because she does, like, Jesse, you know you're wrong. Like, you can like Ace and know you're wrong. Like, that's wrong. Like, what do you mean?
That she was at that man's neck behind the scenes. They're not filming. They're not on a show. So we don't know what's going on. But the way people were so quick to make it a Shelly thing. Shelly this, Shelly that, Shelly this. Like, so quick instead of putting it all on Ace. It was.
How can you put it all on Ace when Shelly and Alandria are soul sisters? So you gonna be soul sisters with someone and have your man talk trash about their relationship, undermine their relationship, and stop their bag when you know they're getting hate? Ain't no soul, no sisters, girl. You tried it. Absolutely. Absolutely not.
All his fault. He said what he said. He said what he said. It wasn't her responsibility. But again, people couldn't wait to see Shelly suffer. And even in this moment, there are going to be people, yeah, see, yeah, I know. You're waiting for this big aha moment when aha jokes on you. This is Shelly motherfucker.
No one is saying aha. Literally everyone that I've seen is saying, period. Now she can get to doing well. I mean, she is doing well already. Like, no, I'm not saying no one, but majority of people are like, yay.
Fucking Basant. That's Timali Manushka Jean-Pierre Bisson. She gonna be just fine. Do you not see how she looks? Do I need to zoom in? Do you not see how Shelly looks? Do you not see how Shelly speaks? Do you not see the looks she gives? She's gonna be just fine. There's no aha moment. There's no suffering. But it's just a constant looking for this girl to suffer. I just don't understand. I never understood it. That was Ace's responsibility to fix that.
Yeah, imagine someone coming out here saying, I'm a good person, but my husband is racist. You're not going to look at that woman sideways to be married to a racist, knowingly married to a racist. Yes, you, who you date, who you choose to be with, who you're publicly tying yourself to, it says a lot about who you are. Point blank, period. You don't get to sit there while your man run amok and pretend, oh, well, it's just my man. You know my man, my man, my man, my man. You didn't get to do that. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We literally dragged. We don't separate Nikki. No, exactly. Nikki get dragged night and day for that man. Nikki got dragged out in there for that man, rightfully. Rightfully, might I add.
That was not hers. It was not hers. Period. Another thing about this breakup too. Hold on, can I see her Instagram? Because I did notice that when I went to Shelly Instagram. Hold on.
So I don't know Shelly's personality really well. I know she's super sweet, kind. She's very careful about her work. She seems really smart, right? I like her. So if she does have like a personality to draw you in, girl, she might actually eat the girls up on like a hosting gig for real. I did see her host like an award show of sorts. I think it might have been BET or something. She didn't do well at the award show, but I think it was she looked great, but it was her first time. So I do see her hosting. I do see her doing that in a way that I don't see Olandria doing that. But Olandria is giving fashion girl right now, and she is eating them red carpets up. She is eating. If you had told me in the villa that Olandria would be the fashion girl, and then I would think Shelly is like the spokesperson on like a talk show or something like that, I would have told you you're lying. I would have switched them. I would have literally switched them. The fact that I was so wrong is actually very strange. Nick has some growth to do, but I love him. I do not like that man. I don't like men who act like children. I do not like men who act like children. Nick for me feels like the wanderer that never has to take life seriously. You know what I mean? Like Nick just feels like he just lives every day, day by day, and it's something that I do like. Let me just say that, but I find it very annoying. So like I like it, but I find it annoying because like, girl, the 401k girl, this job, this planning for the future, this house, this condo, these children. Like I'm gonna need some planning. I'm gonna need some planning. And Nick gives me like she just goes wherever the wind blows, there Nick is. I am. Wherever Nick goes, there he doesn't seem like strike me as someone who like has stuff together. Yeah, instability is the word. Instability is the word. Nick gives me unstable, not personality wise, just like, oh, let's just go backpacking across Europe. Girl, we can do that for a month, but like we have a life to get back to and kids. We have a they stress me out. People like that stress me out.
When I went to Shelly's Instagram, I noticed Ace is gone. Ace is gone. The Halloween.
He is currently homeless for that track. Girl, I saw that man on stage talking about he's a DJ. Don't know one thing he's doing up there, saying he's a DJ. Then the next minute he's like traveling the world tasting food. Like Nick tastes food or whatever. I'm like, girl, you done stress me out. Grow up. It does give a young Jason Momoa energy, just like wild and free and wanderlust. It's like, get away from me with that. We have planning for the future to do.
Post are gone. That tells me she made that decision. She made that decision. She made that decision. And I really feel like it has a lot to do with just how all this has affected her. She lost her soul sister. Like, do y'all remember? Do y'all remember the time?
I think I would stress you out. I'm type B. I just like to go places without plans. Let's just see what. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yeah. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You're gonna stress me out. Yes. No. We're not going. We're not going. And we need an itinerary. ASAP. ASAP. No Rocky.
Do y'all remember Teen Vogue, the cover? The first time we got 2 Black women on the cover of Teen Vogue at the same time from Love Island, Olandria and Shelly. Do y'all remember Shalandria? That was my favorite love story. Ace is cool, Nick is cool, but that was my favorite love story. The way they stuck together, stuck up for each other. Watching them on that Kiki Palmer podcast when you could tell Olandra didn't want to say certain things because at that time it was Olandra that was catching a lot of heat and Shelly was coming in with the poised answers. Like, I got you. Like the way they like stuck up for each other.
I eat the same meal pretty much every day. Like the same meal that like each day has its own meal. My routine does not change at all. Like I know when I cannot, my brain, I have to organize my brain and my life and keep to it. Now, obviously, there's some deviation when I feel like it, but it's like controlled deviation. I'm not about anyway, like Friday nights, generally I block off the entire night and I'm like, YouTube. Because if I don't, it's gonna have a cluster in my brain that I like. No, I don't like my friends inviting me out on Fridays. The reason I can do this for years on end, regardless of what happens in the what happens to YouTube, is because regardless of if you guys show up, I'm gonna be here because like I have to plan and my plan is set generally. So yeah, no.
That's what really has bothered me in this, like just, it's so many things that have happened during this whole Love Island debacle. But for me, it's seeing just 2 Black women who walked out of that villa calling each other soul sisters. And we don't have that. Fuck the brands. Like brands come and go. And here's the thing, as somebody who has done reality television, as somebody who has had a platform, and I've seen so many people come and go, do it, be this person today and be, another person tomorrow. All this shit comes and goes. When I tell you, you're so lucky to make one genuine friend in this stuff, in this entertainment shit. You're so lucky if you make one genuine friend. Just one. It's hard. It's like when I tell y'all.
Okay. So the next step from there, Jesse, is to see how what what Ace did was so problematic. Because if you were talking about the soul sister and that bond and blah, 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 you understand how important that should have been. Period. Now you understand why what Ace did was such a problem. Hopefully you get it.
This celebrity stuff, this influencer stuff, like it's hard. It's hard to find a genuine friendship. And to see those girls walk out of that villa calling each other soul sisters, and we ain't seen the soul sisters. I mean, I know we got a picture not too long ago, but the way we ain't get no more, like we ain't get no more soul sisters, we ain't get no more Shalandria. Like I don't like that. Like to me, that was the biggest heartbreak to me. That was the biggest
But why was there not any more soul sister? No, I do think Olandra was genuinely there for Shelly. I also think Shelly was there for Olandria. The problem is Ace. And when Ace spoke, Ace put Shelly in a really trash position. No, she did. I think Ace put Shelly in a trash position. And Jesse does not want to own the fact that regardless of, oh, Nick did this too, and blah, 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 Ace put Shelly in a tough position when it comes to her friendship with Olandria. Ace put Olandria in a tough position when it comes to her friendship with Shelly. These 2 women had to make decisions. One, Olandria had to have some kind of dignity, right? And Shelly was like, girl, I have a brand now with you to protect or let go. I don't know what to do. And like, I do feel for Shelly because in that position, I know what I would have done. Girl, by Ace, ain't nobody got time. But like, Shelly made a different decision at the time. And that's okay. I just chose to not be a part of that mess over there. But like, yeah, now that she's free, hopefully they can find their way back to each other. But hopefully you see how Ace was the problem. Ace was the problem, and they could have been making a ton of money. The 4 of them, girl, could have been eating down.
But down to me. That I don't, hopefully they can find their way back to each other. I just don't like that. Two beautiful Black women's. Mind you, one is country, one is Haitian. Like, do y'all know, like, are y'all familiar with how country people and Haitian and Caribbean people get down when they get together? Like, do you know the times? Like, if you're a Caribbean person and you have like country friends, like Southern friends, y'all know the vibe. Y'all know the motherfucking vibe. You know, like, it's just real friendship.
She should not have chosen Ace. I would not, but I don't know what her contract was like. I don't know like what her life was like. I don't know what went into her decision. I don't. Thankfully you and I wouldn't do it, but like I don't hold anything against Shelly. I'm fully look, this is not much. It was all about Ace for me. I'm fully on the Shelly train right now. If Shelly can figure out how Alandria positioned herself, Shelly will be good. Shelly will do great. I think Shelly will do great. I'm here to support Shelly if she does great. Like I'm here for it. I just needed Ace gone, so that's that on that.
A real sisterhood. Well, shout out to Quad. What I need that. I need just I don't know, child. I don't know. You know what? It is what it is. I wish Shelly the best. I think that Shelly's gonna be just fine. I think she's gonna be just fine. I think Ace is gonna be just fine too. Ace is young as hell. Young as hell. Young. Okay. I really want to see Ace on Traitors, Big Brother. What's that new show that's on Peacock? Where the celebrities they be jumping out of planes and they be swimming in doo-doo and all that. It's just really ridiculous. It's a crazy show, but I want to see Ace do that, and I want to see Ace act too. Lauren, thank you so much. I love that Shell and Ola haven't disparaged each other publicly. I hope
she love her some Ace. She love her some Ace. You know what? Maybe Ace is actually a really good friend to her, and I would just not talk about the topic because I would not disparage my friend either. Now that I think about it for real, if they're really friends, I would never ever disparage my friend publicly, unless they did some really messed up stuff. So maybe they're real friends. Maybe they're real friends, girl, because ain't nobody got time. Erin, welcome to the membership.
more Black women keep a united front like the amen. Amen. So true. So true. I love that too. I love that too. I love that too. Yeah, I think that Ace belongs on Big Brother or something like that. And Ace is very young. So I think, I think he has a lot of maturing to do. And I like that Shelly is making this decision. Like she said in the interview, she said she's gonna be focusing on herself. That just lets me know, yeah, it's been a lot. It's been
Oh yeah. Oh, I would definitely. I'm not about to sit up here and pretend. Yeah.
a lot for this girl. It's been a lot for her. And so I look forward to her moving on and focusing on herself. All right, let's talk about, while we're here, I'm kind of late to this, I guess, but I came across some of this last night when I was looking for my next TikTok story. So apparently, Snow Roach with the deets. Snow Roach with the deets has been pushing a rumor about Nick cheating on Olandria.
Absolutely not. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. I don't know. Okay. You have a right to not like who you don't like. I don't like when people don't like someone and they cover it by pretending they like someone. I like Jessie, right? So whenever I talk about Jessie, you gonna know that I like her, right? As a content creator. There is something very specific with Jessie whenever she talks about Olandria, and whenever she brings up Olandria, I don't know if it's the fans she don't like or if it's Olandria she doesn't like. I don't know, but it feels like she don't like something to do with Olandria. And so, like, bringing this up is weird. Like, just start a new live stream and try and talk about it separately. No, I'm not gonna watch it. I'm not gonna watch that. No, I'm not watching that. I told y'all they said, oh, Nick was cheating or some foolishness like that, and Nick said he wasn't. And the girl said, oh, that I have a boyfriend, and the boyfriend said Nick and I and her are friends. I don't care nothing about that. I'm just waiting for to drag Nick. Whenever there's a good drag for Nick, I will be here doing it. But before that, I'm not gonna pile on to Alandria for no reason. Like, no, absolutely not. What's next on the itinerary? That was it. We were supposed to finish this video, but y'all didn't want to finish. Y'all did not want to learn about Frankie talking to Dave or whatever his name is, because y'all didn't want to talk about that. That's just that on that. Oh, let's go into the after show real quick, since we've been on for 3 hours. Let's go into the after show, because I got something to say. I got something to say. All right, this is what I have to say. Candace Owens. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to say this. Y'all saw Candace Owens dragging Erica Kirk. y'all, please tell me y'all see what's happening over there on the right. Please tell me y'all eating popcorn, watching what is happening over there on the right. Look, I'm not going to talk about it in depth. I'm just going to let her do what she's doing over there and just watch. Like, let me tell you, let's see how many of them videos I watch. Mind you, I've been dragging Candace Owens for the better part of 5 years. I've been dragging Candace Owens for the better part of 5 years. And the fact that I have watched so many of these videos, mind you, I believe nothing. I believe I believe nothing can, like, look, I don't know what, I have no clue what's happening. I don't have any information on anything. I just sit here and watch. They're like, oh, really? The FBI, Donald Trump, Turning Point USA, the French, the Egyptian, we go, yo, Israel, like, she just be naming everyone. She said Israel, she said the French, she said Egyptian planes, she said Turning Point USA. She didn't say Erica Kirk. She's Trump, Patel, the FBI. Girl, I was sitting there like, girl, I'm stressed. Why is she stressing me out? Girl, this is what she has not stopped making video on this man. And I don't know. I look, I have no clue what's happening. I know nothing about a Turning Point. I know nothing about Charlie Kirk. I know nothing about anything happening. So I don't know why I'm even watching any of this. Like, I don't know. Maybe Candace put a spell on me to watch, because I don't know what's happening. I truly do not know what's happening. That is my truth. I have no clue what is happening. Today it's the French. Candace said they're threatening her life. And I was like, oh, who's threatening your life? Because remember when Candace pulled up to them people's home pregnant? Yeah, I remember when Candace, for the Black Lives Matter, Candace was pregnant and pulled up to the Black Lives Matter, the one of the founders of the Black Lives Matter, pregnant with filming crew. It was all fun and games. When Candace Owens was dragging black people, it was all fun and games. Look. I don't know how people do it. And by people, I mean me. I don't know how people listen to the foolishness, because I really just sit there like, so people really believe Candace, and people really sitting here waiting for another, all right, go, period. how's that French government lawsuit against Candace going? Does anyone have any update? Yeah, nobody. Isn't Turning Point responding to Candace Owens on Monday? I could have sworn I heard something about Turning Point listening to Candace Owens. Respond. This is not gonna go well. And then Tim Pool is mad that he is like flopping. Mind you, everyone on YouTube subscribers going down. I think YouTube changed. I think YouTube changed something in the algorithm. So like everyone is going down, but the people on the right don't know how to manage, because while everyone's views are going down, Candace girl is all the way turned up. Candace Owens is the #1 podcast in America or in the world at this point. I think she surpassed Joe Rogan, right? So like while everyone is suffering with views, and if you relied on YouTube for your income, girl, it's a chop. Just hang it up flat screen. Meanwhile, Candace is like making millions of views. Like, let me look at this. Like 2 million views, 2.4 million views, 1.8 million views, 1.6 million views, 2.3 million views. Girl, this girl is eating up them YouTube charts. So Tim Pool came out mad. Nick Fuentes, mind you, Nick Fuentes fans are like essentially racist, right? But for some reason, Candace Owens is taking all of their viewers. Candace is taking the racist, the conspiracy theory. Candace is taking all the girls. Like, Candace is over there taking. Someone was like, if the Republican lose in the midterm, it's Candace Owens' fault. So one woman just having y'all. That's insane. Who would have guessed that the biggest creator in the conservative movement right now, dragging the conservative movement, would be Candace Owens? That is insane. That is it. And she's been holding on that spot for like a month at least. Like she's been able to sustain this kind of momentum for a month. And it don't look like it's slowing down. Look at God. Anyway, that's all I got. I can't even tell you what I agree with or what I don't agree with when it comes to Turning Point USA. And I have no clue what's happening. But Demas, you watch so much. I turn it on and go do my work. And like I'll be here like, oh, I have this bombshell. And I'm like, and I go sit down and she's talking. I was like, oh, okay, she's just talking. She was like, yeah, Kirk came to me in a dream. Like, okay, girl, period. Okay, girl, period. You know what? I'm gonna end this. I probably should have just talked about this in the Discord. I probably should have just talked about it. Yeah. Candace Owens. Something else. She really I did see those. I have opinions. Like, so let me be very clear. I do have strong opinions on certain things. So when I said I don't have opinions, what I mean is I don't have opinions on her waging war against Turning Point USA, right? I have no opinion there. None of my business. Candace going to do what Candace does. As it relates to like her ideas about Charlie Kirk and the evidence she's brought forward, I have opinion on those. But here's one thing I'm not about to do. When you see two people fighting that are like in your mind bad, you just let them have. You know, this is not the time for me. Do what you all want. This is not the time for me to jump in and say defend and say this is wrong and this is right and I'm gonna break this. It got nothing to do with me. And tear each other apart, and then I'll see. Let's see what. After this, let's see what's left, and then we can go backwards and look at it. Like after all of this, we can go look back at it and talk about what was happening. I ain't about to jump in there right now. She is so creative. Mind you, if you title something with Candace Owens, you go viral immediately. Like there is a whole ecosystem that she's created online. I'm not gonna respond to her. I want no parts of this. People on the left are so annoying. Like, I don't know why you're attacking it. Let it happen. Just sit back, get your popcorn, watch it happen, and then afterwards you can talk about it. Anywho, I do think some people on the left are jealous because a lot of these people don't care about the substance. They look at her numbers, and I think they're all like. I can understand if you put serious work into YouTube. Seeing Candace Owens doing the numbers she does, it probably make a lot of them people sick. All them people who thought they cultivated a racist fan base, they're sick right now. Because Candace took all of their people. Like their people on the right can't even critique Candace Owens right now. Like they thought, and I think this is the truth, I think they thought they could use her up, Candace Owens, to attack Black people. And when they were finished tokenizing her, they could throw her to the side, and that would be that. She got a rich husband. She don't got to do much. They thought they could throw her to the side. I don't think anyone expected her to rise the way that she has. I don't think anyone expected it. I did. I knew Candace was going to be a problem for them people. And I said this like 2 years ago. I knew Candace, I'm going to find that clip somewhere in one of them long lives. I knew she was going to be a problem for them people. Candace is not the type to go down without a fight. Candace is not the type you just say, okay, goodbye, and it's done. She has this really strange ability to reinvent herself. When she left the Daily Wire, where she was fired from Daily Wire, that should have been the end, right? But then she went on the Blake Lively thing. She went on and that kept them up in the algorithm for a while because people keep thinking this Charlie Kirk was where she started doing numbers. No. She had that whole Blake Lively thing on lock for a while. And then she went to France. She didn't go to France, but she took her content to the French president and his wife, and she had that on lock for a while. And now she has increasingly gotten bigger over time. Yeah, no, she wasn't going on without a fight. And she was outperforming Ben Shapiro and all of them at the Daily Wire as soon as she left. Anywho, that's that on that. I will give you my opinion on everything having to do with Candace Owens at a later date. I'm gonna see what's happening generally. And then in 4 years, I'll give it. Depending on how long she sustains this, I will come back and let you know my opinion then. All right. Bye. Have a good night. I'm going to try to get Tokpoki, but it's already 10 o'clock. Can I join the Discord? Yeah. For people who want to join the Discord, there's like a lot happening now in the Discord. And part of the issue with the Discord was I have been really, really busy, but I wanted to go back to having movie nights and long conversations. The thing is, there was a point where the Discord took up like most of my life, because we were just friends, we're just like talking on there forever, and it has started happening to some degree, and so I'm trying to figure out a good balance where like people in the Discord and I we all are friends, like we become friends or whatever, but I don't want it to like consume my life like it once did. I think there was a lot of time spent on the Discord, and I'm trying my best to cut back on it now. I'm trying my best because it took a lot of time. Like it disrupted one of my relationships. To be fair, it was a positive, but I can't. All right. So yes, I will by January have a clean Discord where we can come back to when I have a better sense of how to do it. No, because going with the flow have me on there for 12 hours per day. No, for real. Going with the flow have me like on there for 12 hours a day. That's what going with the flow means. All right. Love you all. Thank you all so much. I do have a stream that I'm working on, and it wasn't complete today, obviously, so I didn't do it. I will try to get it done. But if I'm not here next week, well, I'm going to try to come live at least 2 times next week. But if I'm not here, hey V, if I'm not here next week, it's because I'm hopefully doing good in the world. All right. Thank you all so very much. Have a good night. You're welcome. Sometimes I got to do it. Oh, beautiful themes. Wait, this is the fan.